Welcome back, brothers. Good to have you back in here, hitting our little overtime for the afternoon. Took a little break in between, just reading, catching up on some of my international news. Still looking into the information from the ex-president from Honduras. Very interesting information that he actually gave on the PBD's podcast. I wish that I can just play the whole PBD podcast. I find the conversation very interesting, but I think that that's his content, completely his content. He's not using anybody else's content in there, and I think for that particular reason, I think it probably is going to be copyrighted or whatnot. So I don't want to abuse other people's content, if you know what I'm saying. Um, let's see. I was very tempted to actually sit down and watch the whole football game. Seattle playing against the LA Rams. That's right, guys. Seattle, it's actually not doing bad. I mean, the Rams and Seattle, they're pretty even so far in what how they're playing. But that's the news that I got on sports. Any other team, I don't care about any other team. Let's go. Damn tears taste great. Oh, good. Welcome back, brother. Only the good people are in here. As a matter of fact, while we're doing that, let me edit some stuff on this live. Let me see if I can put just subscribers and members only on the chat. I mean, not that I'm expecting a lot of people to tune in at this time anymore, but yeah, you never know. Let me click that. Check, 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 check. I haven't texted Trinity. Don't know if she gets the notification or she just waits for my text to come in now. We're hanging out. We're hanging out, sis. That's what I'm saying. Hey, Samuel, welcome. Man, what is it over there? Morning over there, or what's going on? What time is it over there, Sammy? Comments on, subscribers and members. We're gonna put in here. Let's make them suffer. Let's make them subscribe for at least one day before they come in here. And Alberto, the first thing you say is, "Hey, how are you guys?" That's how you come in, and then you can throw the first insult. Okay, it's America first, baby. In this country, it's America first, and it's the Gulf of America. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and save this up real quick. Hey, man, I really want to say, guys, thank you, really, for keeping me company tonight. You know that this chat is for us, our patriot Americans that stand for America. Okay? Video Snowflake is back. Hey, Haley, how are you? Welcome to the chat where it gets crazy, where all the haters love the Dennis Herrera show. They love it so much they can, as soon as I come online, they come in to start hating on me. You guys are crazy. You guys should get a job. You guys should get a job. All the haters. I'm not talking about the ones that are trying to support me. Let's see. Dana's I dared to put a 24-hour sub to chat. I did. I just updated it, but I don't think it works sometimes because this morning, you know, when I did my first live for like what 5 hours or whatever it was, um, I put in subscribers, members only. But here's a catch. And I think maybe this is why it doesn't work, or maybe it did work just now. Thank you, Haley. I appreciate that. Hey, Ricky, how are you? Um, I want people to be able to come in here, you know, from every. I don't care what beliefs you have or whatnot, but I want people to come in here that at least align the same values. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, values would be America first. If you don't agree with what we're doing in Venezuela, what we're doing in Ukraine, etc., I understand that. We can talk about that, right? But we're not gonna hate because you don't agree with me on that. And then we can try to understand it. And if at the end of the day, you know, when we're done discussing everything, if things don't make sense to you, you don't agree with it, well, you know what? People should be free to leave whenever they want, right? So some people don't understand that, and they stick around and they just want to be hateful, etc. And you know, that's just what I see. Nucleus family, man and a woman, children. You know, no LGBTQ in our schools, no LGBTQ in the White House or any part of government or educational system. I believe that the schools should be teaching history, civics, math, reading, you know what I'm saying? The basics of what we need to survive and to get to the next level. I don't like none of these socialist teachings. They are really indoctrinating our youth and our ignorant young adults into socialist construct, and that is very deadly. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of touch up on some of the things that I was talking about this morning. As you guys can see by now, everything that I've been telling you about with the economy, the inflation, everything that I told you about illegal immigration, the cost, there is no benefit on mass illegal migration at all. And so you guys are my witness that I have been talking about all these things, and a lot of people still give pushback, which I understand. I understand that. But you know, we need to try to make sense of things. And just like I have been talking about, it's just crazy how it lands, right? Because everything Trump has been doing, it's something that I would do myself. And so that's why I support him. You know, with his whole drug on the cartels, right? Listen, if it takes 3 bombs to destroy that boat completely, then let it be 3 bombs. There should be no survivors. I mean, the command the command was clear. We're going to destroy them. If you dare try to come here, you're gone. It doesn't matter if you need 3 strikes. We're not there to see if we can miss a little bit and see how many people survive. We don't go that way. So again, I agree with Trump with everything that he's doing. I have been a business owner myself. I have failed. I have tried different ventures. I have been, you know, working for companies. I have managed property. I have managed companies. I have been at the, you know, bottom part of the companies. I have gone from any position, you know, in a company, and enjoy every single one of them. And some of them I made a lot of money, and some of them I just made a paycheck to paycheck type of life, you know. But I understand, that people, have a different opinion of me, and then what they think things should be. But I believe tax cuts for corporations, for the rich. These people need to feel like they are still encouraged to continue to make wealth. And the greatest thing is that anybody can do it. Like nobody should tell you how much money you should make, right? And so, that's what I'm saying. So I'm kind of going around everything, kind of what I do here, what I believe, and what I'm about. I got theories, but I'm not a theorist. I hate doing theories. I used to love watching Tucker Carlson, but now he's become too much of a theorist. He's not after the fact and the truth anymore. Now he's like going to this crazy deranged side that he's losing himself. Candace Owens. I used to like Candace Owens. She's a very smart girl. She put some people in the Senate and Congress and all these reps in place, and she held her ground. I admire that, and it seems like the more babies that she makes, the crazier she comes out with her stories. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I just know I am not a fan of her at all. I respect people like Dave Rubin, right? Dave Rubin is, he's homosexual, but the guy is very smart. He's got skills. And I love the guy. I don't know him, but I love the guy. I really like the guy. I don't care what he does, behind doors. That's everybody's life is their prerogative. What I am in disagreement of is trying to, indoctrinate our children. I wouldn't want the church to go out there and bully, gay people. I'm against that. That's not what we do. We love no matter what. But we also call out sin where we see it. And we're not going to just call it out in public and yell it to the public, hey, all of you guys are going to hell. No, that's, we have churches for that, I think. And the churches need to be able to say that stuff to people. Man, I can go on for days and days on that because every little subject has another explanation, and that subject also has an explanation. Loco, boom, that's for you, baby. Don't forget to hit that like. But you're still gay. And sometimes I got people in here that give me crap, but they're actually friends because they're not over here attacking me and just hating on me. They say some things that I will say back to them if we were in person. You know what I mean? And I like Loco. Thunder Loco in here, he's against me like 90% of the time. But once in a while he will agree with me, not because I say so, but because he chooses to. And I can appreciate that, okay? So just so you know, a lot of you guys, when you come in here, that's what I'm looking for. Somebody that aligns with my beliefs, somebody that believes that there is only two genders, somebody that knows that a woman is a female with a vagina and a uterus from birth that grows up into being adolescent, into adult, and becomes a woman. And the male becomes a boy, a man, there you go, etc. So that's my belief, okay? And if you're going to get Christian on me, we might disagree on a lot of things, and you're not going to like the way that I talk as a Christian. With that being said, hey, Sticky, welcome back. Video, you hater, welcome back. The big one, you're lying. Welcome back. Thanks for being in here. Happy endings. Come on, gringos, get in here. Paul Salsi, what are we smelling on today? Do you have any senses? Are you picking up any senses in here? Any smells that you can tell me? That's right. Loco, you know nothing but love for you, crazy ass. Ray Flores, good evening. Just not right to put his name over the Kennedy Center. He goes overboard sometimes, but hey, guys, hey, that's him, man. Let him have his own little personal stuff, man. You guys are too hard on this guy. Hey, Tanya, how are you? Brian, Reedy, and my man, the man, BXA Bull. I don't know what that means, bro. LM says Miami is blue now. Well, congratulations. I hope that blue lady does something good in Miami. Sometimes you just need to, you gotta switch it up. You know what I'm saying? I know most likely the blue Democrats today are they're the crazy nuts. But hey, who knows? Maybe, you know, maybe they'll flip. Kind of like, for example, Nayib Bukele. Nayib Bukele is not Republican. Nayib Bukele is kind of a leftist, but he acts in the values of a conservative Republican, and he has a lot of success, a lot of success. So who knows? You know what, guys? I think I might have to change this and run as a Democrat and stay loyal Democrat while I'm running for office. What do you guys think about that? And then that way I can have, I wouldn't be faking it. If I choose to be a Democrat, I'm going to choose to be a Democrat. The difference is my beliefs are still the same, and so there you have it. If I'm a Democrat and they don't do what's best for America, I am going to be voting against them. I'm going to be fighting against them, regardless. I don't care what party I'm in. I am always going to fight for the American people. Okay, and as I said before, I am nobody's bitch. And that's the way that we should move on in our life. Guys, I got some breaking news. Thank you for being here. If you guys have been following, the brown suspect was found dead in a garbage container, I think is what it was. I just want to be able to say hello to everybody on here, and then I will go ahead and play the video for you guys, okay? Guys, normally my afternoon chats, it really is just a hangout place where you guys can chat. You can throw in some comments in there. Try not to be so hateful, and you just kind of enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? And give us some input, something that you think maybe we're missing. We love to hear all about it, okay? Rules in the chat, you guys already saw it when you came in. Be civil, respectful. Some things I will let it go on for as long as I can, and then I will get rid of people if they're not being respectful. Okay, that's all I'm saying there. All the people in here just went crazy when I said that I was going to run the Democrat. Nah, we're not running Democrats. We're going to go with what we believe, and I think that if I support Democrats in politics by saying that I'm going to run as a Democrat, I wouldn't be lying, because I would become a Democrat. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. But I think that I would do a disservice to America. I'm sorry, guys. I lost all faith on the Democratic Party. They're too far gone. I just can't do it. I just can't do it, Captain. Just can't do it. Jim, how are you? Galbs, you didn't vote for Trump. I'm not reading that, bro. That sounds bad. 32 felonies, 7 bankruptcies. The best President Trump. Yes. You know, bad credit is sometimes better than no credit. You know, bad experience sometimes is better than no experience. And that's why President Donald Trump is doing an amazing job. And you guys can't fake it. You guys can't fake it. He was abdicated, by the way. He was what is it called? Oh my God, I can't think of I've been watching Spanish news all day, guys. I apologize. What's it called? Vindicated? No, it's not vindicated. Is it vindicated? No, he was acquitted. Yeah, there you go. He was acquitted of all charges. Okay? Now, he did get arrested, so he gets that tag along of felony or inmate, etc. But that doesn't mean he is an actual felon. Okay? Those were all made-up charges, and they were all dropped. So there you go. Acquitted is the word. All right. Vindicated, is that the same as acquitted? I thought acquitted was not guilty, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Whatever it is, he's innocent, period. And there's a whole big conspiracy throughout the whole Americas, guys. I'm telling you. We'll hit some of those points. We'll see how the night turns out. Thank you, brother. In stocks, the Trump Media and Technology Group from $10 to $15. I buy a week ago like 9 just for 10. Profits, brother. Hey, man, I need to start buying some of that, man, for real. I need to start investing on that, baby. I'm missing out over here. Missing out. Guys, if you wanna be rich and stop hating the rich, bet on Donald Trump. Whatever Donald Trump's going to do, get with it. Get with it. You might just get rich. Just saying. Here we go. Cutting Edge just made a few bucks right there. He made a few bucks, and now he's putting them on the super chat. I appreciate it. Love the support, man. I appreciate it. You know I am very thankful for you. All right, let's go ahead and listen to this short clip because we do have an actual stream that just happened not too long ago that I will share with you. And then we're going to jump into our chaos theory, which I believe is the truth. But that's just me. Don't take my word for it. You can always do research later, but we're going to touch up some stuff. And I'm going to let you hear from the president of Honduras, whom I support. Okay? Yeah, here we go. Go ahead, Mama.
But now sources are telling Fox News that they have finally identified a suspect in the horrific Brown University shooting that left 2 students dead, 9 injured, but he's still on the loose. Now, we're seeing action right now in Salem, New Hampshire, where a search is ongoing. Boston 25 is reporting that it's related to the shooter and the investigation, saying that the FBI agents and members of state police are on the scene. So at this hour, we're still waiting for authorities to hold their press conference. They postponed it hours ago, and we knew there must be something big happening for them to have done that. We will bring it to you and any breaking coverage as this comes. And a new twist. After authorities declared this week that the Brown shooting and the killing of that MIT professor were unrelated, new reporting is revealing that police are now investigating a possible connection. Here to weigh in, live from Providence, Rhode Island, is Paul Morrow, Fox News contributor, former NYPD inspector. Also with me, Rob Chadwick, former FBI supervisory special agent. Paul, let's start with you. They have a name. Can we trust this time that they're chasing after the right person?
Well, it certainly seems so, Laura. I would mention that let's recognize they have an arrest warrant, which means they had enough for probable cause. They went to a judge and they got that. I can tell you also that in lieu of the press conference, they've set up a command center. Anybody who's ever been in the middle of these sort of interstate complex investigations and pursuits, there's a lot of moving parts. You need a central brain location to sort of synchronize the entire thing. The same people running a press conference are going to be running that situation room to keep the whole operation moving. So that's why they've canceled the press conference. A lot of moving part right now, but I would tell you that by far this is the buzziest day we've had up here, the most movement, and they do seem to be in pursuit of this person as we speak.
And Rob, it looks like they have found the suspect's car. It was abandoned near a storage facility. I'm from New England. I know Salem, New Hampshire very well. I went to school in New Hampshire. So this is not that far from Boston. It's fairly close. But they pegged that car. I think it had been located, it looks like, at the scene of the crime. We saw a lot of internet sleuths that were picking out, I think, that same particular vehicle over the weekend. What do you make of this activity in Salem, New Hampshire at this hour, Rob?
You know, Laura, Paul is spot on there. All of the resources are going to be either in the command center or deployed, you know, at where they think the subject may be. So at this point, I would say the citizens in and around that area need to take shelter, stay inside, wait for further communication from the authorities, because this is by no means over. But, you know, you had earlier, Paul had reported about license plate readers. I'm sure that played part of this investigation and be able to locate this vehicle relatively quickly.
And Paul, one thing that was very odd, I think, at the beginning of this was when we heard about the tragic shooting of the MIT professor. He was an expert in nuclear fusion. He was researching clean, unlimited, limitless supply of energy through nuclear fusion, one of the foremost experts in the world on this emerging technology. And almost right off the bat, authorities said, oh, this is unrelated. And before I'd known that on the show, I said Tuesday or Monday, this just seems really weird that within 50 miles and 2 days, prestigious institutions, there are these 3 people dead. And everyone was like, oh, no, not related. I didn't understand that at all, especially when we had no suspects.
Yeah, I mean, your mind had to go right to that, right? We had these two unusual killings, and they're in relative proximity to each other, and there seemed to be some commonalities. There was an anti-Semitism overlay because the professor here at Brown was in the Judaic Studies program, and of course, reportedly, the MIT professor was also a strong and vocal proponent of Israel. And then, of course, we had all the things that happened around the world. We had Australia, we had our troops that were killed in Syria. And so the commonality seemed to be maybe Iran, maybe some kind of Islamist event. But right now, all of that is still up in the air, and I hesitate to speculate too much. You know, Iran is not going to use a low-rent person who wanders in and happens upon, I believe, just came into an unguarded building because the security was so bad. I mean, has it come to that's the kind of person they're weaponizing? I'd be skeptical. But that doesn't mean there isn't a link here. Very often these things end up being a lot more prosaic than they seem. So we're going to have to wait and see. I do think that we're going to get something going on tonight relative to an apprehension and maybe at a late night press conference.
Rob, how concerned are authorities on the scene that there could be booby traps, there could be explosive devices? If you're going to go to the trouble of casing a lecture hall or a classroom at Brown University, and if related, track down a professor at MIT at his home, then you're capable of anything. So these law enforcement officials have to be supremely careful of their own movements, correct?
There's no doubt, Laura. You know, this is actually reminiscent somewhat in that same region of the search for the Tsarnaev brothers after the Boston Marathon bombing. You know, not sophisticated attacks, but very dangerous. And again, you know, lessons to be learned here on all sides. Certainly not, you know, the greatest handling of this situation with the public. But what it does hammer home, Laura, is the connection between understanding that evil does exist and that the police, no matter where you are, we saw it in Bondi Beach, you know, the police were there. They cannot protect you at all times. So you, as a private citizen, have to understand you're going to be responsible for your own protection, at least somewhat, until the authorities can get the situation under control.
Paul, of course, we're thinking of what may have happened, what could have been prevented after that initial shooting. It's coulda, shoulda, woulda, but they did have a person of interest in custody for many hours. And those were critical hours, in which time the suspect, perhaps, or a related suspect, connected suspect, moved to MIT. Again, we're going to learn more. But how important are those early hours in this investigation with interviews, locking down the scene? It looks like the suspect walked right by police at one point, which was really chilling. How critical is that?
Yeah, very, very chilling. You're absolutely right. Undeniably, that was a setback for this investigation. And look, the chief himself, Chief Perez, said it at the lectern that, and when that whole thing washed out, they had to start over. His words. You know, look, I get why it looked good, because they followed this lead. It was a tip that reportedly came from the hotel. They went to the hotel. The kid's in there. He's dressed in black, reportedly, when he checked in, and he has the two guns. And reportedly, one of them was a 9mm, as was reported to be used at this location. However, when they checked the ballistics, they didn't match. And the kid's story was that he never left the hotel room. And then they did the video in the hotel, and they did the digital key card access to his room. Lo and behold, he had not left the room, and so they had to wash that out. Well, that stuff takes time, but by the time they cleared that, you're 100% right. I think that they had, you know, taken their eye off the ball a little bit of things locally here, and they had to restart the investigation. Key hours that were undeniably lost.
Rob, new details are coming in right now. A Salem Police Department mobile command center is on the scene. It appears that law enforcement is either getting ready to enter the building, or, you know, they're actually talking to someone inside, from reporters that are on the scene there. Your take on that? This is how these things go. We try to say, you got to come out because you're surrounded. We're used to hearing that in the movies, but this actually happens in real life.
Yeah, that's right, Laura. So what will be happening right now is the tactical teams will be set up. They'll have what they call an emergency assault plan in case things break bad. They'll have to go in right away. Obviously, the preference, though, is to preserve life, including that of the suspect, negotiate. If time is on their side, they'll have plenty of time to talk this person down, talk them out, so that people aren't put at risk. But, of course, they're ready to react at a moment's notice if things change quickly.
Paul, do you believe that in this situation, they have already attempted to breach entry into that building? One of the, police commando types already in that building, not waiting for the individual to come out.
Well, not being at the scene, it's hard to say, but I will tell you this, Laura. The general rule in hostage situations like this, they call it a hostage barricade. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have another person. The point is they know who this person is, right? There's a very good chance they got the phone already. They're going to try to do this non-violently. They're going to try to get this person out without doing that, without having to go kinetic, as they say, breach the door, go in, flash bangs, everybody yelling. It's better to try to get the person to just come out, surrender. It's less risky for the officers and for the suspect here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're still at this stage, depending on where we are here, with a phone call, maybe a megaphone, trying to get the person to come out. They know who the person is, so they might know some of the buttons to push to try to get him to come out. It's better alive because you can find out a lot more relative to motive and things like that. And most importantly, did he act alone? That's what you really want to know. You want to know that the danger is over.
Rob, we've seen in situations like this where suspects' family members are called to act as intermediaries to plead for a peaceful ending to this. But this individual or individuals, we don't know how many, presumably there's one person, but killed 3 people and grievously wounded 9 others. So they're capable of a lot of killing. And do family members even help in this situation if they're local, if they're foreign? Again, we don't know, but they presumably have any social media history and any recent text communications by this individual if he's not on a burner phone.
Yeah, so what you're going to have, Laura, is you're going to have a lead negotiator, if that is in fact the stage we're in right now, who's sort of, running point in contact, hopefully, with this suspect. It's very reminiscent of when they had the younger Tsarnaev brother, remember, trapped in that boat. They knew exactly where he was. It certainly wasn't a hostage in there. But again, they had time on their side, negotiations worked, and he eventually surrendered peacefully. Again, to Paul's point, not putting anyone, especially the police or the general public, at risk. So they've got plenty of time, all the resources in the world. We want to get this guy alive so that we can determine who else might have been involved and really ferret the rest of that out.
And Paul, for the future of security on college campuses across the United States, frankly, any soft targets, it's really important to take him alive, to find out, if possible, what he did to breach the building, how he knew the security was lax, if he wasn't familiar with the building already. I think there are a lot of worried parents out there tonight about the safety of their sons or daughters going back to school after Christmas break to see if everything's going to be, safe and sound for them.
Yeah, I think that's a key takeaway. You're going to have a security assessment here to see what went wrong. We already know a lot that went wrong, right? No key card access, the door potentially propped open. There was the alarm that went off late. Reportedly, the text message that went late. There was no security guard. This was a very sort of half-baked enterprise here that really did not seem to take into account that this is the most forward salient of Brown University. This is like the outer perimeter of it, and it abuts a residential neighborhood. With all that lack of security, forget an active shooter, which, by the way, high schools are worried about in this day and age, never mind a university like this that does all this kinds of engineering research. But, with this kind of open building, anybody could have wandered in, a homeless person looking to do burglaries or something. So the security really was lax, and it is a larger lesson, I think, for the university system nationwide. They have to wise up. The cameras are necessary, and the fact that there was no ingress and egress cameras here is kind of inexcusable from where I sit. That one I'm very hard on. You can't do that, and it's unfathomable.
No, it's unbelievable. Rob, and finally, just to this point, if this man was kind of casing the area the person of interest casing the area for odd movements, odd stop and start. And it reminds all of us, when we see something that seems unusual, it's not a good idea to just brush it off. Your instinct really does tell you a lot about a situation like this.
Yeah, Laura, we have to learn to honor our, instinct, our situational awareness. The hair on the back of your neck stands up. Have the courage to make that phone call. Don't think I'm just being silly. Reach out for the authorities. Believe me, the police are glad to get as much help from the public as they can. Defund the police really did a lot of damage to our public safety agencies. A lot of lessons to be learned here. They're going to be painful lessons, I'm sure, but we can absolutely do better.
Great point about the defund the police. Paul and Rob, thank you both very much.
No. So you guys have issues with tariffs. That's what I see on the chat on here. Issues with tariffs. Let me tell you, let me ask you, what's better for our country? To let other countries charge us tariffs or us charging them tariffs? I understand if the small businesses or corporations are buying a lot of things, from foreign countries and they are importing a lot, they should pay a lot. Why do I say that? And just so that whoever's in here, just so that you guys understand this. The reason why I think it's okay is because the day that I decide to do a business here in the United States of America, I have to think America first. What can I do here to make money in the States? I want my taxes to stay here. If I hire employees, I want them to be from here. Can I afford to do this business? If you answer yes, then you do the business. If the answer is no, I can't, then don't do the business. But the moment that you can say, okay, I can do business if I actually get this from China, and there's a tariff, okay, how much is the tariff? So if I pay this, let's say I pay $20,000 in product, and I get the tariff at 30%, damn, that's like $6,000. But then if I make a profit of, okay, I think I can afford it that way. By all means, do it. But that's just my take. Because before we put tariffs in there, check out it this way. Check out it this way. And then you can give me your answer. Before we were charging tariffs, the country, we were losing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars every year. Okay? Yeah, some businesses made a lot of money. Right? Some businesses were actually making their money for themselves, not for the country. So small businesses or corporations were making bank, but that was not helping the rest of us. And it was not putting money back on the debt. So trillions of dollars every year, losing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in trade, depending on how much more trading was done, benefiting other countries, the more money we lost here in the States. And then you wonder, why are we at $38 trillion debt? Why? Well, if not charging tariffs is great for America, why were we losing hundreds of billions of dollars when we didn't have tariffs? Why is it that now that we have tariffs, we are actually making $200 billion? Imagine this. And this is with all the negotiating. This is with all the pushback. This is with all the obstacles. Next year, oh my goodness. Man, I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. All this manufacturing is coming back over here. Listen, I'm going to give you a story. If you guys don't believe me, that's okay. But you have to understand something. Socialist, Marxist, communist, that is the Democratic Party that we have today. Let me tell you what's bad about these things, okay? Socialists, they like to give stuff away. and so do communists. But here's the difference. Socialist people, they want money for all of these things that are happening. Hey, thanks for subscribing, Darren. I see you. They're doing all these programs, wasting money is what they're doing because they have nothing. Hold on, SA, Mikey D. Hold on, SA. So they are just spending money away, okay? That's what socialists do. Tax the rich, punish instead of rewarding the hard workers, the guys that take the risk. Instead of rewarding them, let's punish them by taxing them more. And then socialists, they just give money away. Programs, free for you. Oh, shoot, I don't have money. Hey, give me more taxes. Oh, here we go. Free for you. Free. Okay, now you have a communist. What does the communist do? Well, first, they use the Marxist tactics. Lie to the people over and over until they believe the lie. You know what the problem with that is? That a lot of people that have mental stability problems, they're mentally unstable, okay? Those people, they don't know how to make sense of things. And when Marxists start making lies about those who are actually fighting for the people to be taken care of, these mentally unstable people go out there, grab a gun, grab a bomb, go kill people, and then by the time they kill somebody, they realize that was a mistake, and they take their own life. So there you go. That's the problem with that. So here we go, communists. What do? Because they are socialist as well. When they run out of money, when all the businesses go away and they run out of money, now they got to put all the burden on all this wasted money from the budget on the rest of the people that are working. Except now you have no billionaires. Now you rarely have any rich people. So the poor people got to pick up the bill. And the poor people and the middle class, and this is how the middle class disappears. The middle class has to pick up the high tax rate. And what's the middle class going to do? Hell no. I am not going to be in the middle class because I'm losing more money in taxes than what I'm bringing home. And what happens? You're either going to be rich or you're going to be poor. That, my friends, is the reason why we don't want to support the Democrats right now. They are not for America first. Let me give you one example. You see, we see it here, but this country is so big. Hey, Omar, this country is so big that you haven't noticed it yet. We have had accumulated so much wealth, you haven't noticed it yet. But here in Seattle, before the tariffs were put in, and this is what pissed me off about the governor here in Washington State, before the tariffs were put in place, small businesses were shutting down because everything was too expensive to maintain a business. On top of that, crime went crazy. They defunded the police. And so now you got big corporations picking up the tab like Microsoft, like Boeing. They are being charged an extra $1 billion in taxes. And see, I mentioned this when the Attorney General for the, not the Attorney General. Was it Attorney General? District Attorney? No, I think it was Attorney General. Said, so what if we charge an extra $1 billion from Microsoft? They make so many profits, they won't even notice. And when they did try it, well, guess what? Now Microsoft wants to leave Washington State altogether because they'd rather go to another place where they will be making money. See, you have to understand this. In order for a big corporation that makes billions, they have to make even more billions of dollars. Otherwise, they go out of business. See, people that are poor mentality, that don't understand how wealth works, they think that because somebody's a billionaire, they're going to be billionaires forever. No, money runs out. If you want to stay a billionaire, you got to continue to making billions of dollars. And giving billions of dollars away without any profits coming in, it means that they're not going to last. So now we have a problem here in Seattle. Socialists. You have all these social programs that collect no money from all the thousands of people that they help. By the way, they're giving money away to illegal immigrants. That's another problem, okay? But now Seattle is starting to become a ghost town to business and corporations. They ran away Amazon. Over 20,000 employees, no, 16,000 employees, I think it was a number. 20,000 was in New York, I believe. But it's because they are not allowing them to continue to accumulate this wealth. Now, they get jealous and be like, oh, look at him. Oh, he's making $258,000 an hour. So what? Why don't you go make that? Why don't you go make an investment? Why don't you go over there and get rich? And then you can go ahead. If you want to give your money away, go ahead and find out how fast you go broke. Here's another thing that happened. In Honduras, we had factories to make clothing. You know what happens when the socialists took over? Guess what happens? Do I have to tell you? What happened to those factory jobs? Gone. Gone. Manufactories shutting down. Closed, out of business. Because the socialist president that took over in Honduras raised the taxes like crazy with this whole socialist mentality. Well, Honduras is not that rich. And the corporations that are making a lot of money in Honduras is very sacrificial money. Like they really got to invest, and there's a lot of losses. But they still keep pushing, investing, and, and they're making their money. I know because I know business owners in Honduras. Now, if I know business owners in Honduras that grew up in the area where I grew up, I can tell you that it doesn't matter how hard it is in Honduras. If you want to make it, you will make it. The lazy lose, and the hard workers prosper. That's just how it is. They are the ones that win. Okay, so I give you two small examples of how socialism destroys our country. Tariffs are good. Governor Ferguson signed a new tax, $9.5 billion in taxes. And you know what happened? Guess what happened? Well, I'm glad you asked. Now we are in negative, billions of dollars negative on our budget. And guess what happens now? Well, you guessed it. Now they got to raise more taxes. There's more to that. There's more. Trust me, there's more to it. And in the near future, you will probably see me on your local channels, on your news channels, and on this Dennis Herrera show. Because even though I'm going to be running, I am still going to try to make some time to give you guys a live where you can come in here and ask me questions. And I hope that I get to have more Washingtonians to follow me in this channel, because I want them to be able to reach out to me live. I'm not going to take phone calls because it takes forever, because people just want to keep talking. But I will definitely sit and give people at least 1 hour where they can ask me questions on what we're doing. What can I do for this? What can I do for that? Okay, we're going to take it into consideration. You have to understand, we cannot do everything that we want. There's a lot of things that has to go through the legislature, to the legislative branch. And there's a lot of things that I can do on the executive branch, but we have to make sure that we don't overpromise. We're going to go in and try to hit 3, maybe 5 things, and we're going to go 100% on that. And then everything else that we can pick up. Hopefully, we get a good team assembled. Hopefully, we get some, maybe we can win some of these Democrat socialists and teach them what is the right way to be able to help the economy, okay? So you guys already know. If you don't know, well, you will know now. I don't believe on raising minimum wage too high, okay? That causes inflation to go crazy. Why? Because it makes everything go up. Not just your pay, but the employers have to charge more for their product. The customers have to pay more for the product, and then they have to charge more to their customers and their consumers. So it's a whole circle that it has a domino effect. Everything goes up if you raise the minimum wage. What we can do is, listen, this is the electronic manufacturing company. This is the average pay. Minimum pay on that can be this. But we cannot make a general minimum wage raise, because fast food restaurants should be paying a lot less per hour. Those jobs are meant to be temporary. They're meant to be for the youth, for teenagers. They're not meant to be there for a 60-year-old trying to make a livable wage and pay rent. That's not what it's for. That is not what it's for. This is why you have to graduate from high school, at least high school. You got to be able to read and write and do your math. Listen, there's a calculator. You don't have to think about it in your head, but you have to know how to use a calculator. Very simple. Very, very simple. Just learn how to use the calculator. Learn history. Learn to understand that the way that we live today, that's the way it is because of all the mistakes that we have made, because of all the battles, because of the hardships, because of all the wars, because of the sacrifice, because of the new laws that have been added and added and added to the system so that we can have the order that we have today. Do you understand anything that I'm saying? I hope you do. Because if you are in here, I hope that you learn something. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to just come in here and argue and fight with me. I'm not telling you to tell me what to say. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's okay. The lesson was not for you. The lesson was for somebody else. Okay? All right. Yeah. No. See that, Bobby? Bro, come on. That's not helping me. Tell me, instead of, guys, I can tell the libtards. Instead of throwing an insult at me, give me a better idea. Hey, JP. You know what I'm saying? Don't throw insults. That's ignorant. If I say, I got 100 employees. The mayor says, okay, I'm going to raise 3% taxes on each one of those employees. And I said, no. Well, you know what? No, that's not fair. What about if you allow me to deregulate this right here, and then I can hire another 100 employees that will still pay the 10% tax? How about that? Not only are you getting your 3%, but now you're getting an extra 7%. You see what I'm saying? No, you get an extra 4%. So technically, you're going to be having a 7% tax per employee that now you have extra instead of 3% on the 100 that we have here. But what do socialists do? They encourage people to not work and depend on the government. So instead of throwing an insult, give me a better example than that. Go ahead. I'll drink some water while you guys put that on the chat. Give me a better example than that to gather more taxes. Give me a better example. Let's see. Yes. Wait. Excuse me, young lady. Young lady. Oh, sorry. We're trying to do a professional podcast over here. What's wrong with you, woman? Sorry. Go Hawks. 28:30, baby. We're about to be 29:30. Still 6 minutes left. Still 6 minutes left. Wealth tax. Yeah, they already have that. So let me see. Anyway, Larissa, 2, not 5,000. Guy says libtards and says don't throw in. Mike, what I'm saying is this. Give me, see, this is my show. When I say libtards, if that's you, if the shoe fits, my friend, wear it. I'm not calling you out until you actually say something stupid, and then I'll call your name like that right there. So if I say libtards, if you're not a libtard, then you don't say nothing, okay? But when you guys insult me, you're actually directing that to me. And this is my show. That's the difference. All right, let's see. We charge tariffs to countries that charge us. Yes, we're doing that. Oregon. Let me see what Oregon says. You got to be a tough Slavadier to get people to work cheaper than $20 an hour. Well, we'll get there. So listen, just so you guys know, deflation is very dangerous. Deflation can break this country like China. You understand deflation? Okay, we'll hopefully we'll get into it. Okay, tax wealth, not work. Interesting. Larissa, my groceries are cheaper. Okay, find out what states have the biggest people on welfare. Probably California, Chicago. Here in Seattle, yeah, there is, but I think it's in the hundreds of millions, not billions, at least. Let's see. Just try to have a discussion instead of whatever you're trying to do. No, because billionaires. What? I can't see the little letters, guys. Okay, I can't read everything. But you guys my eyes are not that great, and the letters are too small. Wealth comes with work. Yeah, true that. Kennedy. Oh, I forgot about that. You're right. Interesting indeed. Dams is constipated and dangerous. Nope. Gulf of America. Don't let this trigger you, guys. Come on, stay on point. Stay focused. Anyone who takes economic advice from the is dumb enough to be a maggot. Dang it. Put a super chat in there. Show me how your EBT card works on the super chat. But they just plain resourceful when it comes to repurposing old leftover Soviet munitions. Let's see. Seattle also not a state. Seattle, Washington, my friend. We're trying to make it small so that you guys can get, so you guys can understand it. So anyway, Lisa, blah, blah, blah. Affordability. Okay, Canada is winning. Man, you guys are funny. Stop pulling my leg, man. Affordability and grocery prices are stable and employment is up. Hey, congratulations. I'm glad I don't hear any complaints from anywhere in Canada at all. Nobody in Canada is complaining, guys. I missed all. I listened to all the news from Canada, and yeah, there's no 51st state. Nobody's trying to separate. Listen, everything is great in Canada. Anywho, let's see. As far as largest welfare is Cali, then New York. Okay, that was kind of close. I was gonna get there, and Chicago is probably next. Let's see. EBT works in $1,776 check. but the billionaires. Okay. So, dang it, Bobby. If you keep just spamming the same thing over and over with no essence, they go for 2 and they missed, or they scored. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Marica. You're welcome. The question was, what state has the highest welfare rate? Trying to make it simple for you. What the hell are you talking about? I didn't say Seattle, did I? Did I say Seattle? Well, I guess you were right. I guess you're right. Okay, you got me on that one. I guess you're right. It's because I was thinking that it's not the state, it's the cities. The cities are the ones that are horrible with welfare, not the state. Not everybody in the state, homie. So I appreciate you though. I'm glad that you guys correct me on that. I know Seattle, Washington, Chicago, Illinois. I get it. Yeah, I'm just talking because I was giving the example of the city level. Okay, you're right on that one. I appreciate it. Marica, shut the hell up. Beta. Yeah, you're right. There's cities. You're right. Canada is effed, Dennis. Too many inside. Yeah, that's right. They, as a matter of fact, bro, I think Canadian Prime Minister actually said that. All right, Marica, get the hell off my chat. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. I think that they said that Muslim is now their culture, if I remember that correct, from a few months back. That's what I think. Man, these guys have no mercy when I make a little mistake. I appreciate the correct why. I appreciate it. You're right, 100%. 100%, my friend. Adios, Marica, says Damn Tears. Tastes good. All right, so here's the thing. I'm watching this, You know what? Why don't we go ahead and watch the live report from the Brown? This is the follow-up from the first clip that we played. And then, if you stick around long enough, I am going to go ahead and play one clip about the economic numbers from Newsmax, if you like Newsmax. All right, let's go ahead and let this guy redeem themselves because they messed up big time last time.
Brett Smiley.
Well, good evening, everybody. Tonight, our Providence neighbors can finally breathe a little easier. In a minute, Colonel Perez will share the latest details on the investigation, but I want to thank the people of Providence for stepping up and coming together during an extraordinarily difficult time. I know this has been hard on all of us. Over the past 5 days, minutes have felt like hours, but the people of Providence have done what we're best at. We've leaned on one another, come together, and supported one another, and showed the nation what a tight-knit community looks like. It was because of the information provided to us by neighbors and the tireless work of our Providence Police Department, the Rhode Island State Police, the FBI, the ATF, and many other federal partners. The incredible prosecutorial advice and guidance that we received from the Attorney General's office, we all worked well together to be able to identify this suspect. I know we will have a lot of questions still, and we will continue to work to get those answers. But it is a great honor for me to turn this over to our Chief of Police, Colonel Oscar Perez, and I will say on behalf of the people of Providence, we owe him and every member of the Providence Police Department the deepest debt of gratitude. Colonel?
Thank you very much, Mayor. Well, first and foremost, I want to offer my deepest condolences to the families, the victims. It was for them that this work was put together to make sure that they get the justice that they deserve and to ensure that this person was held accountable. Second thing I'll tell you is that I'm extremely proud of this department, actually the officers, the detectives, the Real-Time Crime Center, the Community Response Team, the Intelligence Division, the Narcotics Division, the Task Force. This past Saturday, as you all know, December 13, Providence Police Department and Brown University Police Department responded to this horrific tragedy at Brown University 184 Hope. Our officers were there within minutes. That same day, Providence police detectives immediately went to work. Looking for video footage to see who this individual was and who was responsible. A person of interest was identified from that video footage. The person of interest was observed on Hope Street, turning onto Waterman Street, and that was one of the first videos that we released. At the same time, every federal agency you can think of was reaching out to the Providence Police Department and responded to the capital city. Images were shared with media within hours. Persons of interest it was the same individual that has been the focus of this investigation since the beginning. All the new images that we received of this person of interest were shared with the media continuously over the past 6 days. This critical evidence was collected with the use of public assistance. As the mayor stated, I'm proud to be the chief of police of this city. I'm proud to be a product of this city for the reasons that the mayor stated. The community stepped up. It was all about groundwork, public assistance, interviews of individuals, and good old-fashioned policing. That is the type of police work that every police officer in this nation reminds themselves of, and that many do not understand. And that is critically important and often succeeds where technology alone cannot. We looked at financial records, we looked at video footages, and in the specific incident, it was actually a video that provided us with a description of a vehicle. That was corroborated through a tip that was received to the tip center. That room was packed with detectives, agents, receiving calls on a daily basis. We started early and left late. Then Flock and the LPR was able to provide us with this description of this vehicle. That vehicle was picked up by Flock, which led us to a car rental place in Massachusetts. Through that, the agents and their work as well were able to get us footage of this individual, as well as a copy of the agreement which provided his real name. The video of that subject matched the description of that person of interest that this police department was desperate to put handcuffs on. That individual was identified as Claudio Neves Valenti, date of birth, and he was a 48-year-old man. He was a Brown student. He was a Portuguese national, and his last known address was in Miami, Florida. And I will tell you that he took his own life tonight. We have members of the Providence Police Department up in Salem, New Hampshire, and we also have the BCI unit. Obviously, the FBI and their evidence recovery unit is up there, so the process is being conducted as we speak. And it goes without saying that I would like to personally thank the efforts again of the Providence Police Department, the Rhode Island State Police, the Rhode Island Attorney General, the FBI, the ATF, HSI, the U.S. Marshals, IRS, DEA, Secret Service, and NCIS. There is no way that we could have done this by ourselves. In this nation, when horrific incidents like this happen, law enforcement steps up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Colonel. General Arona? Thank you.
Sorry for the interruption. I like how he's saying they've done this and that and all these other things that they have accomplished and everything. The guy had a self-inflicted wound and killed himself. What the hell did they do? Just answered the phone and somebody told him to go take a look at the storage unit? I'm sorry, man, but this sign language guy is bugging me, man. He's throwing me off big time, bro, big time. Ronald, let's see. You said something about the Bible, Christian, Jesus Christ, something, and you said a traitor to your country, pretending you are a patriot. I don't think that has anything to do with Jesus Christ. And I will suggest, if you are bringing the Bible into the argument, remember this. Do not raise false testimony, because you will be punished with the same measure that is supposed to be given to that of the testimony that you are raising falsely. I hope that makes sense. That was translated from Spanish. But I'm pretty sure you get the point. Here's an easier one. Cast the first rock if you are without sin. Go ahead. Have a good rest of the chat. All right?
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I would describe the emotions on the investigative team, including our prosecutors and the agents, detectives from both state police, Providence, as mixed. You know, there is a sense of completeness in terms of the investigation, an investigation that's, if not the hardest, among the handful of hardest investigations that I've ever been involved with. And the sense that we owed those 2 dead Brown students and the 9 injured Brown students and the students who were in that auditorium that weren't injured, and the Brown community and the Providence community results. The teams worked really hard. I think I mentioned that to you almost every night that we met with you. I wish they were all up here with us. That we wouldn't fit here, but it was remarkable to see the cooperation between the FBI agents, the ATF agents, the HSI agents, the Providence police detectives, the state police detectives, our prosecutors. And I will say that everybody brought a certain expertise to the table, but it is nevertheless a sad moment when you think about those young people who were hurt, injured, or worse, or two of them are now deceased. You know, to me, this was always going to be an investigation where something was going to break it open. We were going to pull threads. We were going to gather evidence that would lead us in a particular direction. And I will say that if we were with you less than, well, I guess now more than 24 hours ago, we had that picture of that second individual. And I would say within an hour, no more than two, I think it was under an hour, that person came forward to two Providence police officers over on the east side and said he had information, that he was that person and he had information that could help this case. And I remember last night watching his interview, and he blew this case right open. He blew it open. And that's how these cases sometimes go. You can feel like you're not making a lot of progress. You can feel like you're chasing leads and they don't work out. But the team keeps going because, you know, those of us with experience know that you're going to pull a lot of threads, and it's not always the first one that's going to get you where you need to go. But when you do crack it, you crack it. And that person led us to the car, which led us to the name, which led us to the photographs of that individual renting the car, which matched the clothing of our shooter here in Providence, that matched the satchel that we see here in Providence. He was found dead with a satchel, with two firearms, and evidence in the car that that matches exactly what we see at the scene here in Providence. And so I know that you and the public have questions about how we got from a place yesterday where all we could share with you was a photograph of someone we wanted to talk to where we got to tonight. And so we got a state arrest warrant for murder today that was signed by a district court judge for this individual. There won't be a prosecution now, of course. But that affidavit is on our website, and you will be able to see more and read more about how this investigation unfolded. I won't get you all the way there because there are some things that happened afterwards which led us to this suspect's body in New Hampshire. But it will, I think, tell you, give you a sense of the work that went into this by the line prosecutors and the line agents and detectives from the agencies that work so well together. So, you know, as I said, it's with mixed emotions. It is unimaginable, the pain that the parents and families of the deceased are feeling tonight and will feel undoubtedly for quite a while. But I hope that by bringing this person to justice, that we can at least give them the beginnings of some measure of closure. And I want to thank you all for
Sorry about that.
your patience with me when I got a little testy with some of you. Those of you who know me from Rhode Island, you know that's my nature. So I really want to thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, General. As has been said several times, the partnership with the FBI was invaluable. And so it's a pleasure to introduce Special Agent in Charge of FBI, Ted Dox.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening. My name is Ted Dox, Special Agent in Charge of FBI Boston. We got him. Shortly before 9 o'clock tonight, the FBI SWAT team executed court-authorized search warrants at a storage unit facility in Hampshire Road in Salem, New Hampshire. This is where we located Claudio Neves Valente, the individual who we believe was responsible for the Brown shooting. The latest developments in an intense 5-day manhunt and is a result of an incredible amount of work dedicated by the law enforcement team standing here before you tonight. Every single agency brought their unique skills and expertise to this investigation, and we're motivated by the victims and survivors of this horrific incident. Even though the suspect was found dead tonight, our work is not done. There are many questions that need to be answered. There's a lot of evidence that needs to be processed, and most importantly, the victims and their families deserve special care and consideration. The FBI and our partners across Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire will continue to search for answers for the victims, survivors, and their families, to see what motivated this individual to carry out such a senseless act of violence. From the onset of this critical incident, it's been all hands on deck. The FBI deployed approximately 500 special agents, analysts, task force officers, and support personnel to assist our partners in this investigation. In addition to this extra manpower, all our specialty teams were activated, including Evidence Response Team, SWAT, Divert, and Victim Services Response Team, just to name a few. A special thanks to you, the media, as well as to the community. My sincere thanks to Colonel Perez, Colonel Weaver, AG Nerona, Brown University PD, and all of our partners. This was truly a team effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Another critical partner at every step along the way was the ATF. I'd like to introduce Special Agent in Charge of the ATF, Tom Greco.
Good evening. My name is Tom Greco, the Special Agent in Charge of ATF Boston. From the moment 911 reports of the shooting at Brown University came through, there's been an around-the-clock effort to identify the perpetrator and to protect the community. The men and women of ATF, including our special agents, our intelligence research specialists, and our support personnel, have been proud to support and be part of that effort, leveraging our unique experience, dedicated investigators, canine handlers, and crime gun intelligence technology such as NIBIN, the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network, to compare ballistic evidence, and our other available tools to support the investigation, and to help identify Claudio Neves Valente as the individual that we believe was responsible. ATF's mission, first and foremost, is to protect communities from violent crime. Each individual in this country deserves to live in peace and security in their homes, in their schools, in their places of worship, and in the streets. The actions of Claudio Neves Valente.
Wait a minute. These trolls have been programmed a little bit different, guys. These trolls think that my show has to fit their narrative. They think that this show is for them to come and tell me what to do. But they don't know that this show is made for American patriots that want to hang out, listen to some news, and make our own deductions of everything that we see. Somehow these trolls have level -2 instead of -3. They're moving on up on intellectuality. First, they hate it when I'm talking too much. Now they hate it because I am not talking enough. How do we please these people? Yes, I meant it. This people. I love to see the Christmas lights on my chat. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Stole that right and terrorized the community. I'd like to emphasize to the public.
Supra, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you.
This was a highly dangerous individual capable of extreme violence. And we're happy to have been part of this investigation and proud to have worked with our partners to identify him and see this through. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. From the very outset on Saturday, from our first press conference in the fire station to today, Rhode Island Governor Dan
Dang it, Bobby. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by.
McKee has been by Providence's side every step of the way. The City of Providence is incredibly grateful for the governor's support, the state police, not just their assistance with the investigation, but in supporting the broader community. It's a pleasure to introduce Governor Dan McKee.
Thanks, Mayor, and clearly your staff, I feel the same way with the team that you have. that we were happily able to assist. And as a former mayor, many of here in the audience know that I've been a mayor, some don't. But I empathize and sympathize with the position that you were in and the fact that you needed people to follow the lead of the Providence Police and to partner in with some extraordinary people, whether it's with the FBI or the ATF, and of course our state police as well. From the very beginning, my thoughts as a dad was with the families who suffered from the shooting. The unthinkable happened in our state. The unthinkable happened in Providence. The unthinkable happened at Brown University. And we're going to be forever changed. But our commitment from the state level is to continue to support Providence, Brown, and the people of the state of Rhode Island in the recovery. That's going to take a great deal of time. But I do say this. The
Ronald, thanks for stopping by. Beta.
professionalism that I saw in the law enforcement should make everyone that lives in our state and beyond our borders feel very safe. These things happen, but it requires some professional help and law enforcement to bring it to the conclusion that we've been able to bring it to. So, Colonel, thank you, everybody involved. And again, we will stand with Providence and Brown University and the people of the state of Rhode Island to provide the help that will be needed in the recovery in a trauma like this.
Thank you, Governor. Throughout the year, the Rhode Island State Police is an incredible partner to Providence, but during this investigation, their support was invaluable. I introduce Colonel of the State Police, Colonel Weaver.
My name is Colonel Darnell Weaver, the Superintendent of the Rhode Island State Police. I want to begin by recognizing the excellent and exceptional efforts of the Providence Police Department and Colonel Oscar Perez. From the very first moments of this investigation, the Providence Police Department has worked collaboratively and relentlessly, day and night, on this investigation while protecting our capital city. Their detectives followed facts, developed evidence, and pursued every credible lead. Colonel Perez's leadership has been steady and decisive, focused on identifying the person responsible for this tragedy. As always, our troopers stepped up, working shoulder to shoulder with the Providence Police and our local, state, and federal partners. I want to give particular recognition to our detectives, whose diligence and dedication contributed to this investigation. Our detectives and division leadership operated as a unified team, sharing intelligence, resources, and expertise. This has truly been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, as virtually every trooper has taken extra shifts to help support the efforts in Providence, and I have never been prouder to be a member of the Rhode Island State Police. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Rhode Island State Police, and this case stands out among one of the most challenging in our state's history. The sheer volume of digital evidence, the complexity of the investigation, and the intense public interest played an extraordinary demands on everyone involved. Despite that pressure, investigators remain disciplined, methodical, and focused on facts. We are grateful for the assistance of the public, particularly those who shared our information, provided tips, and gave us doorbell camera footage and access to their property. We are also thankful for the ongoing support of Rhode Islanders. We know that you have been with us through this entire investigation. I also want to be very clear about something else. Criminal investigations are grounded in evidence, not speculation or online commentary. The endless barrage of misinformation, disinformation, rumors, leaks, and clickbait were not helpful in this investigation. Distractions and unfounded criticisms do not support this work. They complicate it and threaten to undermine the justice we seek for the victims and the grieving families. Despite these challenges, good police work prevailed, and we have lessons that we can bring forward from these long days ahead. To the Brown University community and the people of Rhode Island, be assured that this case reflects the law enforcement community and what we are capable of, and that we are committed to this state. We will continue to support the victims and the broader community as the healing continues. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. Providence is so proud to be home to Brown University, and we are committed to working together with them in the future as they help heal their community as we do our broader Providence community. We continue to give condolences to the deceased and our prayers to those who are recovering. The leader of Brown has been a great partner through this whole process. I'd like to introduce President Christina Paxson from Brown University.
Thank you. You know, nothing can really fully bring closure to the lives that have been shattered over the past week, but this may allow our community to move forward and begin a path of repair and recovery and healing. I want to thank the dedicated law enforcement agencies that have worked so tirelessly on this case, really around the clock, as well as our neighbors and others who participated in giving tips and helping with the investigation. We hope that this outcome tonight brings an increased sense of safety for our community at Brown and in the surrounding area. This has been a period of great fear and anxiety for many people, and now perhaps some form of relief. Truly, this week has been devastating for our community in a number of ways, including the experiences that members of our community have had with being targeted by online rumors and accusations. And I hope that this development also means an end to this truly troubling activity. So we remain focused on the safety and security of our community and in support for the victims of this senseless violence. Now, we know the public and our own Brown community members will want to know more about the individual now identified by law enforcement as the suspect in last weekend's shooting. And we can confirm the following to the best of our knowledge, based on our review in the very short time since law enforcement authorities made us aware of this development. And we provided this information to law enforcement as they build their case and wrap up the investigation. So Claudia Manuel Neves Valente was enrolled at Brown from the fall of 2000 to the spring of 2001. He was admitted to Brown's graduate school to study in the Master's of Science PhD program in physics, beginning on September 1st, 2000. And he took a leave of absence effective April 2001 before formally withdrawing effective July 31st, 2003. During his time at Brown, Nueves Valente was enrolled only in physics classes. The majority of physics classes at Brown have always been held within the Barris and Hawley classrooms and labs. Now, detailed records indicating where specific courses were held don't extend back to 2001. But we can say that physics classes typically require access to specialized equipment, including demonstration carts that are a fixed asset in some of Barris and Hawley classrooms. So I think it's safe to assume that this man, when he was a student, spent a great deal of time in that building for classes and other activities as a PhD student in physics. He has no current active affiliation with the university or campus presence. So again, we thank law enforcement and so many others for their extensive work on this case, day and night, and we look forward to a sense of restored safety for Brown, Providence, and the Rhode Island communities. Thank you.
Thank you, President Paxson. The last speaker, and then we will take your questions, is the Chief of the Brown Police Department, Chief Chapman. Remember, his officers were the first to respond on Saturday, and we are so grateful for both their immediate and heroic response and their partnership over the last 5 days. Chief?
I want to express my ongoing prayers and care and concern for our entire community. I certainly also want to acknowledge and thank the men and women of the Brown University Police and Public Safety for their efforts. As you see, this was a Herculean task and required a lot of collaboration and work. And our officers and our public safety personnel were shoulder to shoulder with these assets. I do want to also thank all of you who have helped citizens and law enforcement. That partnership and collaboration means the world to us, and we couldn't have gotten there without you. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We'll now open up to questions. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What led authorities to link the incidents between Brown University and MIT?
Yep, I can be friendly.
Then I can follow up to that.
Yeah, I'll start. I'll just tell you that a lot of the information and evidence that we ended up gathering linked us to a connection up in Massachusetts, but obviously at the MIT. But I feel a respect to the authorities in Mass as well as the FBI that's for them to comment. But I'll tell you that the groundwork that started in the city of Providence by our detectives, the detective division under the command of Major LaPayan, as well as the federal partners that we had in our room upstairs, and ATF, the FBI, led us to that connection. And so that was great work.
Does FBI want to weigh in on that? And then I have a follow-up.
I think through that particular link that you're talking about, that case is being worked out of Massachusetts with the leadership of U.S. Attorney Leah Foley. I believe that they're having a press conference today as well, where they'll reveal more to the general public at that time. I'd be remiss to start and kind of talk on this, to let them kind of had first dibs to kind of be the ones to tell the public about those particular links.
And your follow-up.
But your follow-up, sir.
As for the second person who came forward, what did that person tell you, and did that person know the shooter?
So yeah, obviously I had mentioned at the last press conference that it was a person that we wanted to speak with. The work of the video collections that we had led us to identify that there was a person that actually encountered this individual. So it corroborated everything that we saw. We saw our person of interest. We saw that there was a vehicle involved. When this person came in, broke the case in the sense that explained to us exactly what we thought we had seen and put that individual at the crime scene. Obviously, that was the break, because we knew that we were in the right direction to ensure that we were going after this individual, but obviously took his life.
Colonel.
Go ahead. Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. Did Mr. Valenti act alone, and is there an anti-Semitism component behind this, do you expect?
As far as we know, Steve, he acted alone.
And is there an anti-Semitism component to this?
No, that we know of, no.
John.
Colonel, what was the events that led to the storage facility? So was he pursued there? Did he know authorities were going after him? When was he last alive? Like, how did that play out?
So it plays out in the sense that we obviously, I just stated, we collected all the evidence. We were able to learn that there was a rental vehicle. We learned about that vehicle. There was financial records that were verified by the FBI, obviously, and other agencies. I'm sorry, actually, so another agency, so multiple agencies that verified financial records that brought us to that site to know that he had actually rented a site at the storage unit, and then we ended up in Salem.
In a follow-up,
Yeah.
when he did that, did he know authorities were coming, or did he just go and, like, how long had he been in that storage unit?
That we're not aware of, John, in the sense that all we knew is that we were on a manhunt, and that's what it led us to. So.
Amanda.
Oh, thanks. Chief, I have some questions for you about Claudio. So he graduated, what, last known address was in Miami, and now he's here at Brown University, potentially also at MIT. What do you know about what brought him up here?
There's going to be unknown answers that we have no answer as far as that. Obviously, came up here and committed this horrific incident and this tragedy, and that's all we knew. Our mission was to ensure that we could find him and bring him to justice, but yeah, no. At this point, correct.
And my follow-up is of the evidence that you've collected. Have you collected the handgun that you believe was used in the shooting? Have you collected any type of manifesto or evidence? Have you planned more shootings?
So as far as I know, that's the FBI evidence recovery team is up in Salem, New Hampshire, and they're collecting whatever evidence is up there. This happened just now as before we came up here.
Bill.
Any criminal history, political affiliations, any social media posts, anything of that sort that you can report to us about Mr. Valenti?
Nothing that I know of, Steve.
Behind him. Go ahead, white shirt.
Is there any indication that Mr. Valenti was planning any future attacks?
Nothing that we know of.
Yes.
In the way back.
That's an interception.
Can you also tell us if
Yep, that's an
you
interception.
mentioned, I know you said you can't talk too much about the MIT, but the fact that it was a physics professor at MIT and in the physics building and he was studying physics. Have
Excited,
you
bro.
followed that up, and does that lead, why target one person in Massachusetts and then a whole class here in Providence?
Yes, it is true that Mr. Valenti was a physics student. Also, we know that the MIT, the victim there, was in that discipline as well. I will tell you that there's multiple phases to an investigation. And so now, in a sense that we know the subject is deceased, now that investigation continues to find out all of those answers to your question, sir.
Did he go to school with the professor? Did he go to school with the professor who was killed? Can Brown answer that?
It is believed that in Lisbon, that those two individuals attended the same university in Portugal.
You have a follow-up in the back.
Muy poquito.
Go for it.
Sorry, empiezo desde el principio.
Lo que nos pueda resumir acerca del caso, ¿qué fue lo que conllevó a que ustedes pudieran dar con el paradero del sospechoso y las conexiones que tuvieron? ¿Cómo llegaron a rastrearlo y más que nada a qué atribuye todo esto?
So the question was if I can briefly explain how we got to this individual and what occurred. So, verdaderamente lo que pasó, obviamente el incidente del sábado 13 nos llevó a tomar evidencias, colectar evidencias de videos, de informaciones, y expliqué que es muy importante el trabajo de los policías y los detectives en el piso, haciendo el trabajo duro, recolectando videos, recolectando testimonios. En este tipo de casos recibimos información, obviamente, de los videos que colectamos. Nos dimos cuenta que había un vehículo de interés y una persona de interés desde el principio. Eso nos llevó a después informarnos de la placa del carro, la descripción del carro, y eso nos llevó a darnos cuenta de que esa persona había rentado el vehículo en una compañía en Massachusetts. Después de que fuimos a Massachusetts, cogimos videos de la persona. Esa persona era en la misma descripciones de la persona de interés de nosotros acá en la ciudad de Providence. De ahí pasamos con los agentes federales a investigar un poco más y llegamos a los récords financieros que nos llevó a Salem, New Hampshire, hoy en esta noche. Allá hubo una entrada táctica del equipo del FBI y encontramos que esta persona se había quitado la vida ellos mismos. Ahora estamos investigando más si hay algo que necesitamos saber más de él.
Alex.
Colonel, or is there a note or manifesto of some kind, and is that providing any information about a motive or anything that they might have done in the
Again, the FBI recovery team in forensics are up in Salem, New Hampshire. At this point, we don't have any of that.
Any indication of why now? What's the significance behind why this happened on Saturday?
That we don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we know the answer to that question. I think there's a lot of unknowns with respect to motive. I mean, I think that the real issue here is the key was to identify this person, as we talked about yesterday. I think there are other answers that are coming, but once we were able to identify him, thanks to that individual who came forward, who led us to a plate, which led us to a rental car, which led us to that he rented that car in his own name. That really broke the case open. But in terms of why Brown, I think that is a mystery. I think There may be something going on in Massachusetts that I'm not fully familiar with because we're working this angle, but I think the Massachusetts authorities may be able to share that. Yeah, I don't think we have any idea why now or why Brown, why these students, why this classroom. That is really unknown to us, and it may become clear. I hope that it does, but it hasn't as of right now.
Fox,
Yeah,
Fox, go
This
ahead.
is for the Colonel or the Attorney General. At 2:16, there was a surveillance video that showed the second person that apparently blew this case wide open, and also Mr. Valente. You see them disappear behind bushes. Was this second person following the shooter? Did he recognize him and confront him? What was that interaction like? And I have a follow-up.
That's a great question, and I'll be all explained in the affidavit that the general stated that will be released. But I'll give you a brief sort of explanation about that. The person that we wanted to speak with had an interaction with this individual earlier in the day, then observed him later at that time what you just stated, and decided that he was going to encounter him and asked him why he was inside Brown. At that point, the subject of interest, Mr. Neves, actually ran. He was caught up by our person that we wanted to speak with. There was sort of a conversation between the two of them, and Neves asked him, "Why are you harassing me?" And at that point, the person that broke the case walked away. And that information was critical to us because he was able to corroborate what our detectives were seeing on video, and he was able to provide a great explanation.
And my follow-up question
Yes.
is, why did it take a citizen to notice a suspicious person right next to Brown University and not the police? And also, how long was the vehicle parked where it was? And was it days, hours, minutes? What were we talking
It appeared to be days as far as the evidence. Why would a civilian observe that to be suspicious? It's a great point. And I like the fact that you're mentioning that and bringing that up. That's what we should all be doing, right? And it's just personality. Some people are more interested in finding out what others are doing. In this particular case, this person decided that he wanted to, and I'm glad he did.
Shouldn't the police be interested in that, not citizens? That's what I was
In the back.
Now that the suspect, Attorney General, now that the suspect won't be prosecuted, can you explain what he yelled in the classroom to America tonight so people can
Sure.
feel a little more comfortable?
Sure.
Was it something, terrorist related? Was it something specific to the kids in that class?
Yeah.
What did he say? Can you now tell us?
Yeah, well, back to that question just for a minute, just to clarify that. They had a interaction in the bathroom in Barris and Holly. So, I don't know, the Providence Police is obviously not going to patrol Barris and Holly. That's a question frankly, for Brown and their police department. So they had an interaction there, and then our citizen, followed him out because to him, as he explained it to us, this guy did not belong there. And so that's why he followed him out. In terms of what was said, I don't know any more today than what I told you yesterday, or the day before. There are some witnesses who said he said nothing. There are some that say he made a barking noise. Don't ask me. I don't know why. And that's it. There is no other spoken word beyond that we are aware of as we stand before you tonight. And we have spoken to everybody that we have been able to locate who's been inside that building.
And just to the special agent in charge, my follow-up question is, can you just be clear to the people of Massachusetts, and I know you said the people in Norfolk County and investigators in Mass, but you did say a few days ago that you talked to the colonel of the state police and said there's no connection between Brookline and what happened here in Rhode Island. But now you're saying there was a connection, so are you saying that he shot up Brown University, then 2 days later he was at this house in Brookline to shoot this MIT professor, and then he just drove up to Salem, New Hampshire for no reason? How did he get into a storage facility?
No, I think that's a great question. My actual statement was that we didn't see a connection at that time. But absolutely, I spoke to the colonel. Right now, that case is being resided over by U.S. Attorney Leah Foley. They're having a press conference at 10 o'clock tonight, I believe. I think at that time, they will speak to that particular case. I would be getting a little bit ahead of my skis if I spoke to that case without consultation with Leah Foley and her team, as we've been in the trenches working this up to the minute today, sir.
I guess 2 days ago you didn't know they were connected, now you're saying they appear to be.
Yes, and that's how cases often go. I would say at that time, when that question was asked of me, There was no indication of a link at that time. As we've talked throughout this week, these breadcrumbs develop, and we'll see what she has to say today at 10 p.m.
Yeah, if I could I just want to jump in here on that, please. I just want to jump in here on that because it's a good question. It's an important one. So, just to put everyone's mind at ease who's listening now, he didn't just drive to some random storage area. We found records with the help of the FBI and others that was his storage area. So he rented a car in Boston. He drove it. We were able to find that car in New Hampshire. We were able to find evidence in the car from looking at it from the outside that connected this individual to our crime scene here in Rhode Island. We were able to find visual evidence of him inside that storage facility, which, in my judgment, matches him to the Massachusetts scene. So you'll hear more, as the special agent said, but there is no question that was his storage unit, that he had a particular car, that we found that car because of this citizen coming forward and giving us a description of the car, and then our individual who came forward, we knew he was telling the truth because we could see it on the videotape. And so that was a series of things that broke this case, and that led us to Salem, where the suspect was found dead.
Steph. Believed to be living in Miami. Did he fly here at some point? How long was he in Providence for, and when did he obtain the guns?
Go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah, he did, like I said, it will be in the affidavit, but he did fly into Providence, I believe, early October, I believe. That's the right date. And what was the other question? I'm sorry, Steph.
And did he buy the guns here, or did he get the guns?
So I'm sorry, I can't answer. Yeah.
We don't know the answer to that, Steph, as we stand here right now.
Okay, you can't fly with them, so assuming he got them sometime after he arrived?
Well, that's possible. What we do know is that he was moving around New England in that October, November, and December area. You remember, we just we know that there's a body in New Hampshire. We know that there are guns at the scene. It still remains to be examined, comparing those guns to the ballistics evidence we have in Rhode Island, and I imagine they'll do that in Massachusetts, but again, that's somebody else's investigation. And then, of course, we want to make sure that we match the DNA. But we are 100% confident that this is our target, and that this case is closed from a perspective of pursuing people involved.
And Steph, just to add, I think Special Agent Doc stated, obviously we didn't know who he was. And so it's very difficult to know what a person did prior without any knowledge of who that person is.
Dan. Can I just ask Special Agent this question? It sounds like from everything everybody's saying that the person who came forward to speak to you is kind of a hero in this story in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
We know that there's a $50,000 reward. Did he get the reward?
You know, I will say that in this particular situation, that individual will likely get absolutely some aspect out of that award. We've had a lot of other tips, I will tell you as well, that have come in from the public, and so I don't deal typically with the distribution of those rewards. But I mean, it would be logical to think that absolutely that individual would be entitled to some of that reward. Yes, sir.
Second row, red shirt. Go ahead. Yeah, you.
Thank you. Fox News Digital. Do we know when or how the suspects left Providence? For the Colonel.
Well, we know he left Providence and committed a homicide in another state. On that, but we don't know.
Touchdown, baby!
Do we know when he left Providence?
Yeah.
Never doubted it.
When he left, that's what as far as we know that he left, but we didn't. I believe.
All of you, with particular regards to the Brown University president, a recurring theme for the last few days has been an outreach, ultimately successful, to the people of Rhode Island and the people of New England to track this individual down. While at the same time, we've got this sort of passive-aggressive criticism of individuals who are being actively asked to engage via social media, who are wildly spreading rumors, some of which couldn't have possibly emanated anywhere than law enforcement. And I do have a follow-up. So would anyone like to respond to that? I mean, it's kind of condescending to a lot of people. I know, Governor, you're confused, That's not uncommon. But the...
All right, that's uncalled for.
The
All
criticize-
right, we're moving on. Current.
Wow. He must be illegal, guys. At DEI. He said, I see you're confused, but that's very, very common. Oh, my gosh, dude. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hey, go Hawks, baby. Let's go. He's going for 2? Oh, man. Hold on, chat. Put up with these losers for a little bit.
No,
The person
current.
who came forward with the case-breaking tips, was that information originally posted online? Or was that person encouraged to come forward based on what people online have?
Correct. There was a tip that was placed online, and obviously we were doing our due
Man, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. Oh, timeout. Mind speak, man. Timeout, bro. Timeout.
diligence to find out who that tipster was. And then we were able to identify this person who we wanted to speak with, and hundreds. We were vetting them through, ruling them out, just like the general stated. We were making sure that whatever came in, we checked it to its entire to ensure that we weren't missing anything. And so when we got to that tip, obviously, it led us to that person that we wanted to speak with, and I told you the rest earlier. So.
Yeah, and I just want to complete that too, because this is important. This person had to come forward. That's why we put the picture out. Once we put the picture out, he came forward, right? But we didn't know who that person was. We knew about what was on Reddit, but we didn't know who that person was. That's why when we identified another person, we didn't know when that person came forward that he was the Reddit poster. He then told us he was, okay? So all of these things kind of happened in that sequence.
Go ahead, Chris.
This Valente figure, this is a question for President Paxson. Do we know why?
Boom, baby, touchdown!
Did he have a
Woo! Never doubted it, Mindspeak. Never doubted it. Boom, baby. Yeah. Let's go. You're late. Welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show. Doggone it. Everything is the way that it should be. All right, enough of this, guys. There is another live that's coming after this, it looks like. Let me see what this is. They follow U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts.
Throughout the day to establish probable cause to charge Neves Valente. Earlier today, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Massachusetts filed a criminal complaint under seal detailing the chain of events over the past 6 days, including information that led us to today's search of the storage locker in New Hampshire. This is what we learned during this multi-jurisdictional investigation. Neves Valente studied at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island on an F1 visa around 2000 to 2021. He eventually obtained legal permanent resident status. Previously, he attended the same academic program as the MIT professor Nuno Loureiro in Portugal.
All right, I don't know what this one is, so we're going to skip it. Not interested. I do want to give you guys this. Hopefully, we still have some people on the left that don't understand what's happened so far. So let's get into it.
Check this thing out, okay? This is the total inflation since January of 2019. Trump leaves office. Nearly 30% increase since 2019. Your dollar from January of 2019 is worth 70 cents today. That's the pain. So let's break down where the bulk of that pain came from. You see this line right here? That's where Trump 45 left office and Biden came in. Carry that over to the next line. This is all Biden's presidency. And this is where Trump came back in. So this is a 22% rise during Joe Biden for the cost to live. Now, this 2%, 2.7% number, that's what they're talking about. This represents the part of the graph for the number that came out today, which all things considered is pretty good, even though it outperformed the estimates of supposed to be 3.1%. And the left wants to make it seem that Trump's tariffs are to blame for this 22% inflation that happened before the tariffs. See, Trump has actually brought some prices back down to almost where they were before Biden, and in some sectors like gas and things like that. For example, when Trump left office, gas was about $2.50 a gallon, which shot up to a national average of 350 during the time. Biden had both the House and the Senate. He was doing whatever he wanted, passing things like this Green New Deal trash. And then in January of 2022, what happened then? The number one Republican talking point was Joe Biden's driving gas prices too high. Because he was. What does Joe Biden do? Check this out. He starts draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That's meant for a crisis or wartime, but he did it for political gain during the midterms. Right around here. Because the midterms were here. He drained the stock from 650 million barrels down to 350 million barrels in reserve. And yes, gas prices did actually fall during that time, but it was the supply surge. And they crept back up slightly until they started to go back down under Trump, because Trump policies came in and had actual deflation from that, which is almost unheard of. See, Trump showed these during his speech last night for a lot of things. Egg prices down, hotel rates, new used cars, there's their gasoline, airfare, prescription drugs, sporting events, all these. Actually, not regular drugs. Those drugs actually are way up because we keep blowing up the supply lines off of the coast of Venezuela. But all of these things are down. They're not up by less. They're actually down, which is deflationary. But according to the liberal media, all those industries are and should be up, affected by tariffs. But they're not.
But they're not because of tariffs. And that something? Ain't that something? And people come in here, and when I try to explain, now, guys, you know, I've had people here. Now, I'm not an expert on the economy. We just, what do we do here? We just try to put things together. We try to make sense. Okay, my speak. Let's forget about the game. It's over. Bada bing, bada boom. We got more important things. Now, I will play some parts, okay, of the PBD podcast show. Hopefully he doesn't get too mad at me and doesn't sue me for the $10 that I have to my name. This is the ex-president of Honduras. This is Juan Orlando Hernandez. This is a man that is a conservative. He used a lot of the money to bring the infrastructure of Honduras up to par. He also made war against cartels. He also fired about 50 to 60% of the corrupted police, making a lot of enemies. His brother was accused. Now, I think his brother was guilty and the cousin, but he still believes that his brother is innocent. We don't know. I'm not going to vouch for him, but I can vouch for the president. Why? Because I know who took over. Because I know who he replaced. See, he replaced a liberal socialist. And he effed up our country. Bad. Bad. I'm talking about gangs were just crazy. Crazy. Let me see if I can find a chart. I know they're talking about a chart in here somewhere. Let me see if it's this one. That's the Salvadorian president. Let's go ahead and start it over here. Now, I tell you this because I've been telling you this all along, and people just on the left, they just want to continue to deny and deny and deny, and it doesn't matter how much we show them facts, we show them this, we show them that, they still don't want to listen. Now, listen, I'm not an expert on the economy, but I can tell you, we try to make sense of things. You think the economists, they just knew how to be economists because they went to school for a year? No, they also have to have experience in life. And I've done a lot of taxes myself. I've done a business. I know the cost of doing business. I've been in a union. I know how the union works. I know how much money they get paid, how much they waste, how much money the actual employees should be getting, but they don't. I know unions are sometimes a waste of money. It's just like another employer with employees looking for benefits for themselves. He was president for, so The Constitution of Honduras allows presidents to have a term of, I think it's like 5 years, I think, okay? And 4 or 5 years. And so, you know, he put what did he do? He did some sort of like the same thing that Nayib Bukele did. You know, he put some sort of bill on the table, and Congress passed it to where they can get a second term, okay, as presidents. And so he won it. And so when people voted for him, he became president for the second term. I think that's how it was. But the people that were going against him, they lost, like Venezuela, okay? Like Venezuela. They lost, like Nicolas Maduro. And they blamed him for all the drugs that were coming through Honduras. Now, everything that I have researched and I looked at what's happening today, the connections they have with Venezuela, the connections they have with Claudia Sheinbaum from Mexico, and all the connections that they have with the Democrats here from the United States of America, it all just makes sense to me, right? And I put them together. I shared that information on my live here. And everything that he is telling PBD on his podcast, it is exactly what I have been telling people all along. So either with both wrong or with both right. Let me go ahead and play this clip here.
Wanted to ask you to receive a call from him because we want to continue what we have been doing in the Northern Triangle. And I received a call from Vice President Pence. So he was given the new administration that I was the one who was doing that work in Central America to stop drugs, to stop illegal immigration. And how is that then during his administration when he became president, those things changed? I mean, it is a hypocrisy of he didn't know what was going on in his government. Sorry to say that.
This is Biden.
Biden.
Well, that's obvious that did the previous administration under Biden, did Kamala, Biden, Garland, did any of those guys speak with you? Because Garland gave a 21-minute speech where
big time. Your local government, what I don't understand about you people, and you know what I mean by you people, is that you blame Trump for everything and you don't say nothing about your corrupted politicians at all. One day, I want you to say that in this chat, and then I can probably take you serious. But you blame everything Trump, everything Trump. I live in a blue city and state. I see the changes on the price. I know why they go up. I know why they go down. I know why my check looks smaller, and I know when my check looks better. Nothing to do with Trump. Let's say he was president for one term of 5 years. Are you going to tell me he didn't know about his brother? Well, the problem is that what he says is they say that he's saying that his brother was also set up. So I don't know about that. The story is that he found out, right? They don't have any proof at all. This is just hearsay. They have no proof, but they say that he knew about it. And that's why they went after him, okay? So the thing to me is like, well, prove it. Prove it. The whole deal, bro, check this out. As a matter of fact, I think they talk about it. I'll try to find it, okay? Well, let me go ahead and play this clip because the Biden administration was involved in this coup, okay? Oh, and speaking of coup, I'm going to let you read. I'm going to read it for you, obviously, but I'm going to read you a tweet from the president, the current president in Honduras, of what she said, and pay attention to the wording that she uses, and you will agree with me that it looks very familiar to something that people do here on the United States of America.
this is it, I believe. Ex-Honduras, when you were being extradited, is this the speech, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Just play a few seconds of it. Go for it.
Orlando Hernandez, the former president of Honduras, was extradited to the United States to face federal charges. Hernandez is charged with participating in a corrupt and violent drug trafficking conspiracy to facilitate the importation of tons of cocaine into the United States from 2004 to 2022. As is charged in the indictment, Hernandez abused his position as president of Honduras from 2014 through 2022 to operate the country as a narco state. Hernandez is alleged to have received millions of dollars from multiple drug trafficking organizations, including from the former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, known as El Chapo. In return, drug traffickers in Honduras were allowed to operate with virtual impunity. We allege that Hernandez corrupted legitimate public institutions in the country, including parts of the National Police, military, and National Congress. And we allege that Hernandez worked closely with other public officials to protect cocaine shipments bound for the United States.
So during this administration, while they're playing offense like this with you, okay, indictment, smuggling cocaine, the average person watches this, you're a criminal, you're a horrible human being, right? That's what the average person is going to see. During Biden, did Biden, Kamala, Garland, any of the higher-ups of his organization talk to you, reach out to you?
With Biden. We work very close with Biden.
With Biden?
Yeah.
So Biden was good with you?
Yeah.
Himself directly?
Yeah.
So when you see something like this, how surprised were you were you expecting this, or were you surprised by this?
I couldn't believe it.
So let me get this straight. So when this speech is being made, you're fully surprised. You don't even know, you can't even believe that this is taking place.
You understand what he's saying? I know he has a heavy accent, but you understand what he's saying? He's saying that he's been working with Biden this whole time. With the whole time he's been working with the Biden administration. And then Garland goes and makes that speech public to everybody. And he couldn't believe what he was hearing because it just, out of nowhere. And here he's working with them. Like, so should we blame Biden and the administration for setting him up? My answer is yes, but that's, right.
Yeah, because this guy, this former Attorney General,
Garland,
he was saying that we were using the police, but the other branch of the State Department, they call it INL, we work with them in how to transform the Honduran police. I was given awards, I was given recognitions because we worked that with the Inter-American Development Bank, and we work with several.
Okay, hold on. I want to add something to the story that he doesn't know yet. Something just happened. Just happened in Honduras, okay? Watch this. So he gets set up, framed, okay? Hey, PBD, if you're watching me use your video, don't get mad at me, and if you need me on your show, just let me know. All right, listen. So this guy gets set up by the current president in office right now. You have to understand something about this current president of female Xiomara. Her husband was president before him, and he just pooped all over the country and was also accused of doing what they accuse him of doing. Okay? The difference is he fired, right here, he fired over 60% of the corrupted police department. And he got rid of a lot of corrupted politicians. Do you think that anybody's going to make enemies out of those people? I think so. Okay? Now watch. This happened just now. So they've been going back and forth. And I'm going to throw this tweet here for you right now. Okay? I will show the translation. Now watch this. So now that President Donald Trump, right, has pardoned him, now her and her husband are afraid that he's going to go to Honduras and that he's going to go and investigate them for what they tried to set him up with. What's that? Oh boy, I'll be up all night now. Thank you, love. And so she's afraid that he's going to go back to Honduras. Check this out, guys. That she's afraid that he's going to go back to Honduras, is going to support the politician, the candidate, which is this in the same party, on the conservative party that this president is on, okay? So she's afraid that he's going to go join with him, and being in Honduras, he is a bigger threat to her because he is also a lawyer himself. I don't think he's a lawyer, but they call him licenciados in Honduras, okay? And that's like a lawyer. And he said that he was going to go and investigate and make sure that the truth comes out, blah, 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 right? Let's see. Yeah, listen, I don't trust the politicians either, bro. I'm just making my own deductions. I don't trust politics here who have good capital and still corrupt. Just imagine how I believe politicians are poor back in our countries. Well, Nayib Bukele used the same tactic that the Honduras Juan Orlando used in Honduras, and it worked. I'm telling you guys, crime was way down in Honduras. I saw it. Oh my gosh, I was working at 3 in the morning in one of the poorest neighborhoods. Fine, no problem. Businesses went up. Infrastructure, you can literally see the difference on the streets, the highways, the freeway. Now they got freeways in the capital. All the roads that were so hard for people to get on because of the holes and the bad conditions and this and that was dangerous. Well, he fixed a lot of the infrastructure, a lot of it. And so they didn't like him. I saw the proof. Everything he says, he's not lying. I saw that, and I said to myself, wow, because I don't support the party, okay, that he's from. Now I do. Interesting. I changed from Democrat to Republican here in the States. Now I changed from Democrat to Republican in Honduras. Very crazy, but very interesting, okay? And so I support him now in his party. And so she go ahead and she sends this tweet. And the tweet, she says, to the Honduran people, I report with historical responsibility that based on verified intelligence information, Juan Orlando Hernandez, pardoned in the USA, plans his entry into the country to proclaim the winner of the elections at the same time that immigration is underway, aimed at breaking the constitutional and democratic order through a coup against my government. Does that sound familiar? Anybody? Does it sound familiar? She lost. It doesn't matter who gets in office. She lost already. What she's saying is January 6th. The same book, the same playbook, the same exact playbook. Watch this. In the face of this serious situation, I urgently request the conscious and peaceful support of the Honduran people. She is going to get them to get protesting. Watch this. I call upon the people, social movements, collectives, grassroots organizations, militants, and citizens to urgently and peacefully gather in Tegucigalpa, which is the capital in Honduras, to defend the popular mandate, reject any coup attempt, and make visible to the world that a new coup is being hatched here. She is sowing the evil against him whom is innocent. He replied on his own message saying that he does not intend to go to Honduras because he knows that he's going to put his family in danger. And one of the reasons why he agreed to come here to the States is because he knew that he was innocent And he said the American government is going to look through all of the evidence and they're going to see that I am innocent. And that's why he came here. But a lot of things, because I can't play a PBD's podcast, I will encourage you. It's over an hour, but I encourage you. If you are interested, if you want to know, that's right, that's the Nancy Pelosi in Honduras. If you really want to know the story, he will tell you everything. I heard everything he said. Trust me, from what I know, I've been telling you already. It's true. I left a comment on the podcast, and a few people agree with me. But I'm telling you, everything that I have told you, everything that I have connected through seeing what's happening, what changes are happening in Central America, South America. Remember when I tell you guys, sometimes I come in here late, I am on this issue all the time. Even though I'm not in Honduras, that's still my country of birth. I still love my Honduras. I still believe that all legal migrants are the educated people that do things the right way and respect the law. These are the real Hondurans that you guys have not met. They're the good people. Is there good people that come here illegally? Sure. But unfortunately, they are all not vetted. And therefore, we can't trust who they are. They even stopped us from doing paternity tests on children. Isn't that crazy? Why would Democrats stop that? See, I think that they are responsible for trafficking children into the United States of America. But that's just a little theory, okay? That's just my opinion, okay? Now, let's go ahead and listen to what he says here, and then I'm going to try to find out, try to get to the spot where he actually mentions the reply to the president.
Other polices from Chile and from other countries. We became like the example of how to purge, how to transform a police force who used to be at the order of the narcos. We fire almost 60% of the police force in Honduras. And that's the reason, because I have to use...
You make a lot of enemies if you do that. So these are people, it's because I know the model. You can bribe them and you can win them over, right?
But thanks to God, I am alive. As you said it. This guy, every group of this, they try to kill me. And right now, if I go back to my country, there is a hit on me. I'm telling you this right now. I haven't said it before. Do France right now. Unite me with my family for a while. Meanwhile, the new government in Honduras is established. I want to go back to my country. My dream is to take care of my family. My mother, my children, my grandchildren, and that's what it is. But, being there right now, they are in danger. So, and the Biden administration, they took away their visas, and they couldn't even come to my trial.
Your family.
So Biden took away, guys, Biden took away his family's visa, so they couldn't come to the trial, so they couldn't be on a safe place where he can look after them, okay? Once he's in jail, there's nothing that he can do for his family, and all he can do is just sit there and take it. Biden removed those visas from the family, innocent women and children.
Families' visas were taken away by the Biden administration?
Yeah.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends, it changes the result. That's what Sam Bankman-Fried said about you. And
to do it.
Do you know what Sam Bankman-Fried said about you? Have you read what he said about you or no?
My daughter was explaining it to me.
Sam Bankman-Fried told Mario Nafal, Rob, I think you have it somewhere, and he explains to him that, he says, I spent a year and a half in the same unit as Juan Orlando. I got to know him fairly well. I'd like to think we became friends, and I can't think of a single inmate more deserving of a pardon. He was framed, and SPF spent extensive time helping yourself with trial prep and reviewed evidence. And his account, you were convicted in 2024 for a decades-long cocaine conspiracy involving hundreds of murders. But the actual evidence, a ceremonial machine gun, a selfie with a cartel-connected soccer fan, and testimony from the exact cartel leaders you arrested and extradited. Those cartel leaders were offered early release if they could implicate a bigger fish. They chose to testify against them.
Now, I want you to understand something. I have said everything that he is saying because I did my research. If you haven't done the research like I have, it's taking me months, probably over 10 months, almost a year. I've been doing research on what happened down in Honduras and what is happening here and watching how the Democrats play dirty. I got the best examples. President Donald Trump. Even till this day, right now, they are trying to take him down, and they will sacrifice every single American just to take this one man down who poses a threat, not to our democracy, but to their Democratic Party. And that's a big difference. Let's see. Maybe the new president of Honduras takes money from the USA to fix gangs are there, just like Bukele took $50 million from Mexico. Woo! Look at us now. We owned. So, the president, I already told you, the president of Honduras, Xiomara, bro, check this out. All right, I'm going to pause this right here. Check this out. So, Juan Orlando, right, this president here, he fired 60% of the corrupted police in Honduras. Who will do that? He should try to bribe them. These are the police that kept taking mordidas, you know? The mordida means like, hey, give me some money or I'll give you a ticket. Give me some money or I'll take you to jail. Give me some money or I'm going to take your car. Those kind of corrupted police, okay? Bukele did the same thing in El Salvador. The difference between Bukele and the Honduran president is they went after the president and they didn't go after Bukele. He got away with it. Why? Because they think Bukele is also a leftist. But Juan Orlando was too close to finding out who was in charge of all those drugs that were coming through Honduras. As a matter of fact, check this out. Juan Orlando was, I believe he was, I don't think he was a president yet. I think he was just the House Speaker, okay? He was a Speaker for Congress of the House. And he said that there was a general, I think it was a general, that shut down 3 planes in Honduras, shut them down. And that those planes was cocaine that was being brought to Honduras supposedly to go somewhere else. The person, the husband, the administration of the current president was the people that fired him. They should fire him. Why? He's doing his job. Juan Orlando says that's not right. You shouldn't do that. It was her husband. Juan Carlos Manuel Zelaya, I think that's the guy's name. He fired him because he destroyed 3 planes that was bringing cocaine to Honduras and stopped it from coming here, or maybe Mexico, whatever the route was. Now, check, this is the reason why I'm telling you this. Check this out. Today, at her speech, they have this thing where the president has the power, you know, like here, right? Pete Hegseth, right? He's the new Secretary of the Department of War, right? He's the Secretary of War. In Honduras is the same system. Congress, the House, the executive, judicial, you know, and legislature. It's the same system, okay? Guess what? The guy that just became elected, by the way, she fired the Secretary of Defense. She is out, guys. She only has 1.5 months or something like that in office, maybe 2 months. I think it's February or March. I can't remember in Honduras when they start. But she only has a few weeks or a few months. Fires the Secretary of Defense. And the guy that she hires, guess how much money he's being bumped to become the new Secretary of War or Defense. They still call it Defense over there. Hey, good night, Dems. Thanks for bringing it here, bro. You brought it. And then he's about to get $7 million salary in Honduras. I want to say lempiras, okay? I don't want to say dollars. Dude, if it's $7 million, that is a lot. As far as I know, is dollars, okay? That, my friends, it's crazy. You know how many lempiras is per dollar? 26-1 is the exchange in Honduras. That is the salary for a whole military platoon. That's platoon. That is crazy. Good night, Brian. I know, man. Shoot, man. I'm so excited. Do you guys want me to leave this for tomorrow? We can have something to talk tomorrow. This is good. This is good. All right, let me see. If I get how many people got here? 253. If I get 10 ones, we'll continue with the story. If not, I'll leave it for tomorrow and we'll call it a night. Let's see if I get 10 ones in the chat. If you want to continue to stay, put a 1 on the chat. Put a 2 if you want to continue tomorrow. I'll give you guys we'll do this as a democracy. Hi, Rush, babe. See, nah. Okay, so, buenas noches, Thunder Loco. Take it easy. 1, we stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. God damn. All right, so whoever's going to sleep, have a good night. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue to play this, but we'll come back to this story, okay? So she has made a lot of replacements with in the military. She paid all the soldiers and the police. She paid them about $1,000 to $1,200 each. She was buying them, and they still didn't support her. Now, the news report says they got this letter. There was an email that was sent, or a letter that was sent from the secretary and the generals and the military of Honduras, and they said this: if we do not comply with President Xiomara, we will not get our money. And guess what? Now they got millions in their pocket. And you know who the military is? Air Force. Oh, Air Force. The Army. That's right. Those are the military people. Air Force and Army. Guess who controls the airspace? That's right. Who controls the ground? There you go. Military police is sent into actual country. You know what they said about President Orlando? That he was a tyrannical authoritarian, because in order for him to get rid of the cartels and the gangbangers in Honduras, he had to deploy the military. He actually used the military police to come in and go in and check, and he got rid of a lot of crime. That is exactly what Nayib Bukele did, except nobody contradicted him. And he didn't really have anybody to go against him at all, because everybody was with him. And in Honduras, the race was very close, but he actually won it, okay? So with that being said, they set him up. She is now using the same tactics as Nancy Pelosi, as the Democrats always do. And now they're talking about a coup. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, let's continue with the video here a little bit.
Man who put them in prison. The result, your presidency, murder dropped 50%, drug trafficking dropped 90%.
50% drop in murder, drug trafficking 90%. Every major cartel leadership extradited to the United States. Do you think that anybody in the cartel, or that is sleeping with communists like Nicolas Maduro, do you think they will be pissed that these profits are being cut? You should ask for $10 super chats, dude. Come on. Time is money. I know, brother. But listen, if people, man, you guys know, I've seen you drop 50s. I've seen people drop hundreds. I mean, I know Berniel has dropped 1,000, 500s, and that helps me big time. But I don't want to like force people to do that. Maybe I can set like a goal, right? I can set up a goal of how many super chats. Hey, don't worry, bro. I appreciate you, man. You always support me. Cutting edge. I mean, you guys are always on here, man, hooking me up. So I appreciate it.
And every major cartel leadership.
And yes, if I still have any libtards in here, this is work. I spend a lot of time. You can ask my wife. I spend a lot of time. Just my brain doesn't stop. This is the only reason why I like to have ADHD. When I am very interested in something, I can't stop until I get what I want.
Extradited to the U.S., SPF, he wasn't just a narco trafficker. He wasn't just not a narco trafficker. He was probably the most effective anti-cartel leader in the world. Juan Orlando is the most innocent prisoner I've met, including myself. The pardon came days before Honduras' November 30 election, where Trump endorsed Nasri Asfura of your national party. The race is now a technical tie. The Trump warning, there will be hell to pay if the electoral body changes the result. That's what Sam Bankman-Fried said about you.
So, in the elections right now, the candidate that Trump picked, okay, I picked the other guy. I lost. Trump won. He's always right. He's right about everything. That candidate won fair and square. But the same people that accusing the guy that won of cheating is the same person, which is the president that I just read the comment for you, right? Everybody gather together, you know. What did she say? What groups? Let me see. The groups that she said was, I call upon the people, social movements, collectives, grassroots organizations, militants, and citizens to urgently and peacefully gather in the Capitol to defend the popular mandate, reject any coup attempt, and make visible to the world that a new coup is being hatched here. She just told everybody that this president that is talking right here, whom is not in Honduras, is planning a coup in the capital of Honduras. Anyone want a road trip with Dennis? Let's go, baby. All right, Mindscape, I think you have earned it. You are, my friend, the boss of the Super Chat. Stream Chat, I'm sorry. You are the Stream Chat boss. Everybody, let me see those emojis. The big boss, el jefe, el patron, Mindspeak, a.k.a. Liberty for All. Let's go, baby. All right. So you guys already know that she is trying to gather people to come in there and just make a big mess. This is what communists do. We have another word, it's called Sandinista, for our country. So, Mindspeak. Hey, I didn't take your username, bro. That was YouTube. All right, we're gonna go ahead and skip to the response. We're gonna skip to the response that President Orlando made to Hondurans from what the Honduras president actually said about the coup.
And it will come up right there, the first one. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, there.
Okay,
right there.
so which one is it? Is it this one, the accusation? Okay, zoom in a little bit. The accusation made by Zimmerkes are completely false. There's no plan for my entry into the country, nor any attempt to break the constitutional order. This narrative only seeks to spread panic, distract the public, and create chaotic and tactic well known from the leaders of Libre. For 12 years, my name has been used to distract. In the past 4 years, the government has relied on hate and lies as a smokescreen to hide its absolute failure. The strategy no longer works. The people of Honduras rejected them clearly and decisively at the polls. Today, once again, they are launching, Rob, can you increase it up a little bit? Another attack using my name to cling to power through chaos. We are not in 2021. Their lies have been exposed. Honduras must keep a firm focus on the special vote tally, awaiting the official results from the CNE. The process must be monitored and supported by all sectors of Honduran society, as well as the national and international observers. Election matters to all of us, not just the political parties. I have been clear in my public statement. I have no intention of returning to Honduras at this time, precisely because this government has shown it does not respect guarantees of rights, and because my security and that my family would be seriously at risk due to the evident political persecution and weaponization of justice against me. Once again, time has proven me right. I have information that has led to attacks on my life, that of my family, and that of my family. One thing is political or ideological difference. Another is entirely crossing the line and putting humans' lives on the line. I hold the current government leaders and leadership of Libre fully responsible for any attack, persecution, and risk on my family, or I may face. History will judge those who use the power of state to intimidate, persecute, and sow hatred among Honduran brothers and sisters. My only desire to be my family, recover lost time, and heal as a father, husband, son. I want to care for my loved ones, and as a good Honduran, I wish for peace, unity, and prosperity for my country so that Honduras may grow, strengthen, and move forward. May God continue. May God protect and bless Honduras.
That is what real Hondurans think like. And that, my friends, is an educated Hondurans. And I am an educated Honduran. Do I talk like in the street? Oh, yeah, I can definitely go in. I was born in El Barrio, in a very ghetto neighborhood, okay? You guys seen the area. It looks a lot nicer today, okay? But you know what? That's education. We grew up. We're almost the same age. I don't know how much older he is than me, but we grew up in an era where civics, and patriotism was still taught in the schools. And I think that's what makes us different than the people that are in school today. Because just like here in the United States of America, they have let go of that as well. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is socialist, communist that do this to every single country. It is the way it is. It is the way it is.
Yeah. Question for you about, because when you go through this process and someone thinks and says, okay, why would the president pardon you? Okay, one, Roger Stone is very good at what he does, and he can come in and say, hey, yeah, this guy's innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. We should pardon this guy. Okay, then you're pardoned. Fine. Two is you could play a role in making South and Central America safer. Because when you think about, what's going on over there with Maduro, every day we're seeing what's going on with Maduro. Another boat, another boat, another boat, another boat. And hey, President Trump is trying to get involved with Maduro, and Maduro's going after Musk. Maduro's going after Trump. And then he says, don't worry, be happy. We're going to be okay. We don't want a war. We don't want this.
So, 3 planes. The President Orlando shoots down. All of a sudden, now you're going to tell me that he was the one bringing planes in full of cocaine? Why would he shoot him down? Why would he do that? It just doesn't make sense. Now Trump is over here shooting boats full of drugs coming from Venezuela. And what do Democrats do? The same thing that the president of Honduras right now did to this innocent president. The same exact thing. The moment that he saw that he was stopping criminalities happening in Honduras, he was stopping crime, that's the word, crime, drugs. He fired corrupted police. I mean, the guy was cleaning the country. And a lot of people saw it. That's why he won the second term. That's why he won, because people saw the difference. And when they got rid of him, bye-bye manufacturers, bye-bye maquilas. They don't have it. So they're hoping that the new guy, which is in the same party as him, is going to bring those jobs back. What are we expecting? A great relationship with the United States of America. We are hoping, remember this. I was about to say, I don't know why I was going to say Michael Jordan. Remember this. President Donald Trump is very clear. He does not care about underwears and T-shirts and socks. He doesn't care about that stuff. He wants to make the expensive things here in America. So Honduras is known to have big manufacturers that make a lot of clothing, will provide tens of thousands of jobs, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs. I mean, it's a win-win. Honduras will have more employment. They will pay more taxes. They will be able to spend the money in the economy. People's spirits will be healthier, happier. They're going to want to spend money. They're going to go out more. They're going to take little vacations. Maybe they'll be able to afford to get their house, pay off some property, buy some land, make their own businesses again. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that we want. And that's exactly what President Donald Trump is doing here. He's trying to bring that back. But Democrats just keep getting in the way, and they just don't let him work. I don't understand why. I don't understand why.
Eyes, how big of a role is Maduro playing in everything that's going on in South and Central America?
We could see it in two different times. If you look back 5, 6, 8 years ago, was a really important role because he inherited all the system that Chavez created, and Chavez was very good at that. And but in Honduras, the last years, he's very influential. Listen to this. Everybody knows in Latin America and in the planet that Maduro stole the last election. But the Honduran government, the later president, said it publicly. There is no doubt at all. The winner is President Maduro.
And what did Biden do with the Democrats? They stole the election. Same playbook. Same playbook in Venezuela. Same playbook in the United States. Same playbook in Honduras. Same playbook in Mexico. Claudia Sheinbaum is being accused by her own people of killing political opponents, of working with the cartel. Now, we don't have no concrete proof. This is what the Mexican people are saying about the president. And the guy that just got murdered not too long ago, right? He was standing up against the cartel and telling the president hey, you're in bed with the cartel. You're supposed to be fighting for the people. He's gone. He's gone. What do communists do? They get rid of the other party. What did Nicolás Maduro do? He killed his political opponents. He still has them prisoners in his power. And he made the other president disappear, go into hiding. Like Orlando, like Juan Orlando right here, made him separate and go away from the family. They have sacrificed themselves. He came to the United States. He turned himself in because he was afraid that they were going to hurt his family. They told him they were going to kill his family. His daughter, I can imagine who will sit there and fight with that. He thought, because I have a good friendship and the Biden knows me, he is going to know the truth. He trusted the American government to find the truth that he was innocent. Now, I didn't show you the part where he actually gets a hold of the files, okay? Gets a hold of the files of what people have been lying about him. And the only reason why he got these files is because his lawyer was very sick. And him being a lawyer himself, he said, give me the files. He read the files and he says, oh, no. Everything in here is a lie. I need to have a meeting right now. And he's like, if I would have known that you were lying about me with all of these things, that how this is not true, I would have never came to you. So they made up this big, long list of files. We know the FBI and the CIA, they lie to us. We know that. We're not stupid. But that's what they did with him. That's what they did in Venezuela. So Venezuela, Honduras, and the United States of America. Isn't that crazy? And the same party, Socialist Democrats. Socialists turn into communists because they lose control of the people, so they got to go to the next level. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, hey, what a helly. Thanks for becoming a patriot. That's what we're talking about. The same conspiracy, at least you will think these people will play a different playbook. Something that we can't just figure out. Like lies with time always come out in the open. That's crazy. Now watch what's going to happen here.
That's not even just a joke. It's a bad joke. But they are so close that they are willing to.
By the way, jock means joke.
To reach their law approving ratings. But the other thing is that when the Attorney General Pam Bondi said the drugs are coming from Venezuela and then go through Honduras, she knows what I know for almost 13 years, 15 years. And they are so close. That's the reason, because I expelled the Venezuelan ambassador at that time. But the other relationship is that all the tactics that they use, for example, creating those small groups of radicals, they put weapons in their hands, they go and fire the streets, they burn homes of.
Oh, dude, nah. Thanks for telling me, man. All right, Freshly, welcome back, brother. That's good to know. I thought it was a different person, but it's good to know, Fresh. Always good to have you, my friend. I love you, man.
The political opposition, they have done that in Honduras too. And yesterday, they were taking the street, putting fires with tires, with whatever, trying to block everything, trying to protest. Unfortunately, the police and the army forces, they said, we have to protect the results of the elections. That's the will of the Honduran people. But now the president, the later president, is punishing, removing those officials who did that protection to the citizens yesterday.
What is that you're playing?
This is the protest.
So this is what the president was saying. Okay, that the one that set him up. I think that I think it's more her husband, but she knows what she's doing. I call upon the people, social movement, collectives, grassroots organizations, militants, and citizens to urgently and peacefully gather in Tegucigalpa to defend the popular mandate, reject, and coup attempt. This is what came out of that text message from the president.
That's ongoing in Honduras as of 19 hours ago.
This is as of 19 hours ago in Honduras?
That's what those groups of radicals from the left were doing. Because the
leftists, man, it's just there's nowhere that they can hide it. Why? They can at least play it off just a little bit different. Just change a couple of things on the tactics. It's the exact same thing that they're doing here in the United States of America. It's crazy. Crazy.
They already know that they lost the election. They don't want the electoral body to come with the final result.
You guys already know. I already told you. The guy already won. But the same lady that sent that tweet, the president of Honduras, is calling for those leftist lunatics to come out and protest against it. Because he over here in the States is making a coup attempt. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
But they want to continue in power. Those are the guys. It's the same script, the same playbook that they use in Venezuela.
I told you. See what I'm saying? It's the same playbook. And I'm telling you, I have not watched this part yet. But that's exactly what I believe as well. Same playbook. And that is what they do. They go and they prey on the weak-minded, and then they use them to create riots. See, over here is Antifa. And then there's the mentally unstable. And then there is our senior citizens who have problems. They use all these people all together, including crackheads. And they get involved with actual peaceful protesters. And they go and create havoc in our country. Democrats love that. And every single country that's doing that, guess who's in charge of those people? Democrats. Sorry, guys. That's just the name of it.
They call it colectivos.
Colectivos.
Collectives.
So, who won though?
I have to be respectful of the institutions. They have to pronounce. But what I'm going to tell you is what I know about the count of the.
It is exactly like January 6th. And so the president of Honduras is doing the Nancy Pelosi smear, right? She's setting this coup by herself, and then she's blaming him. She's blaming him. The letter that we read about him is the complete opposite. And look who's calling for the rioters. The president that is sitting right now. Same playbook. Same exact playbook. That is crazy, man.
Copy of each electoral poll document that our party has. Our party won the election, clearly. But they have to count it in the electoral process. Because in Honduras, if there is a table and let's say 200 people come to vote here, every party has a representative.
It's supposed to be a locker room, bro. It's a locker room background where all the guests come in and put their signature on it. One day, maybe, who knows, maybe he'll invite me to come and talk shit on the show, and I will sign it right behind the president so my name shows up every time the camera goes there. Who knows? Maybe I have to pay something in order for me to put my name on the wall. That's funny, dude.
But the electoral body also has a representative. But also, you can come as a citizen 5 meters far, and you can be recorded whatever you want.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how you guys do it in Honduras?
Yes.
So people actually trust elections in Honduras?
Yeah.
Guys, if you just got here, man, I'm sorry. I can't go back and tell you everything that I had just explained to everybody. Maybe we'll do it again, okay? Maybe we'll do it again on another live.
Everybody's involved in that.
Wow. Did you hear that, Rob? Did you hear what? So you got one from each party there, representative, and people can come within 5 meters. 5 meters is 15 feet,
15 feet,
give or take. 5 meters away, they can record and stream it live, and the people can see it.
And I promote that reform when I was in Congress.
Is that a new law?
It is in the law.
When did that happen?
I think when I was in Congress, I think was 2013, something like that. But the thing is this, everybody's counting and they said, this is the ballot. And let's say Liberal Party, National Party. And everybody can be recording there. But also the ones who are in the table, they are taking notes. That copy for each party, we are very good at keeping those records.
So if you don't understand what he's saying is, there's 4 parties now, okay? And what they do is they get a paper, a big paper. It has to be big. It's like big paper, okay? And it has the pictures, right, of the people that they're voting for. Every party has a representative at every location that is counting votes. Every party has one representative, and they have a camera that they can zoom in so that they can record that the X mark was put under this face, this face, this face, or this face, okay? Now, the privacy of the voter with the thumbprint, that's separate. But each one of those things, they have like 2 or 3 per vote, okay? And so that's why it goes so slow. So they show the paper here, here, and here, okay? And then they put it down. Somebody else is grabbing that paper and they're counting the tally, okay? That's how that works. And so it takes a long time, but everybody's watching the vote. That's what he's saying, okay? So it's very interesting that they do it that way. Here you vote, it goes inside the box. Nobody knows what the hell that is, right? But when they're counting, they don't show us. They just give us the numbers, and we trust that. But in Honduras, they actually show the candidates that were marked with an X. They don't show the person's thumb and name, but every single candidate for the party, a specific party, they all get the same amount of votes, and they can manually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 blah. And they can verify themselves the votes. Now, what the news reporters in Honduras are saying is that they believe they believe that a third party should do the counting of the votes, not having actual representatives from each one of the parties there. But what he's saying, it kind of makes sense, but it's just a slow process.
So the information that I have from that process is that we win the election in the 3 levels: presidency, Congress, and mayors.
And who was the candidate for presidency?
Tito Afura.
Good guy?
Good guy, very humble, very charismatic, hardworking. He has been all around the country. And of course, I had to tell you, the words of President Trump the other day.
Saw that.
How could I say, show up what really was going on with the other candidates.
The last thing I'm going to say to you is because while they're giving the pardon to you, it makes me think about how things have worked over the years. And I'm not even talking about your pardon, but my mindset. 1976 are used to give intel on other people that are selling drugs, and a government would allow them. This could be from the Biden's administration, why they wanted to work with some of these guys. This could have been Kamala. This could have been, any of these. As long as you're sending me information about other people for me to catch, and you're willing to rat other people out, I'll let you keep making your billions. Kind of like what they did for them to come after you. Okay?
Bye, Felicia.
What are your thoughts about what happened with them, and do you think any of those methods are being used today?
I don't really know. I cannot tell other than my government. For me, it was simple. If drugs go through Honduras, we have a lot of death, a lot of corruption. So my policy was to avoid drugs coming to Honduras. That's the reason, because
through Honduras,
see, we create a maritime shield, and we work with the South Command. They put some very big ships in the Atlantic, and we, with our small navy, we did our part too. We also create the aerial shield, the tuning down law, and also we create a land shield. What means that? I work with the Guatemalan government to put a special national force in that border. We did the same with El Salvador and with Nicaragua. So Honduras was protected with those 3 shields. The thing is...
Can you go to that map, Rob, the one that he had on his PowerPoint? Please continue.
So, if you look at that...
Yes.
I think...
This is in 07.
Which years?
2007.
You know who the president was at that time? The guy who
Zelaya.
is the husband of the lady president right now,
Yeah.
Mel Zelaya. So it started right there. Before they were moving drugs from Venezuela to the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Dominican Republic create this shutting down law. I got the idea from there.
You got the idea from DR.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yes. And then if you move the other...
Did you hear that? They created a shoot them down law that they got from this president, which I told you. that the current president, the wife, well, the husband of the current president, Xiomara, actually got the guy fired, and they replaced him with another general. Very interesting, isn't it?
One,
And what does that law mean? What does that law mean?
if there is a flight, you have to have a legal permit. There have to be a communication between the country that you are coming from to the country that you are supposed to land.
Yep.
So they already have that information that plane,
Got it.
the line says
You've approved it.
the name of the pilot, whatever. And then if they don't have that permit, which is an illegal flight, so all planes come up, and they have a protocol of how to communicate by radio, but also by signals. And they told them, you have to land in that airport or ship, whatever. If they don't do it, we're going to shoot you. Now I can say it because I already passed. We weren't in the business of killing pilots. We were in the business of stopping those flights. And we
He really was a great president, guys. He really was. I saw the big difference in Honduras because of him.
achieved that. As General Kelly told those guys in the State Department, as a deterrent, that law is incredible.
Interesting.
And we achieved that. That's the reason, because you see at this time, what is this year? No,
That's by sea.
this is by sea. If you look,
2010.
that's the trend, that's the synergy that was going on after this Mel Zelaya guy was in power. So that's the problem that we have. That's the reason, because we started with that law. If you continue the next
So
one,
this shows though, Rob, that goes from Venezuela to Honduras because of Zelaya Castro's close relationship, friendship with the Venezuelan regime.
yes, and
Got it.
if you see now, Dominican Republic have
Lowered,
less,
yes.
lower. Okay, if you continue, look now. No, that is by sea.
By sea.
By
Keep
sea.
going.
Keep going. Now, if you see, Honduras is almost free. Then we weren't even between the fifth countries with more drugs passing through.
Got it.
And look at Mexico. First place. Well.
After being the first batch. That's what we did. And they didn't allow me to use that information on trial. And do you know that information, where it's coming from? From Southcom.
That's coming from Southcom.
Southcom. That's the information that they share with us.
So it's as accurate as it gets.
Yes, they have a satellite system and human sources also.
This is 2017.
Yes. But if you continue to do that, it improves even more. You see how Honduras is free? All the things is moves to the Pacific, to Costa Rica, to Guatemala, and to Mexico. And Honduras is in the middle, the green.
Yep. Can you put an arrow on it, Rob, so the audience can see where it's at? That green right
You
there.
see?
Yeah.
They come to Belize, to Guatemala, whatever, because that's what we did.
And this is 2020.
2020, the last year of my presidency.
Interesting. And did the flow of drug come back up when the liberal individual won, Xiomara won? Did it open up again?
If you look at the International Narcotic Strategic Report, you are going to find that argument, that the situation complicated when they came to power.
Interesting.
Which match with the statement of Attorney General Bundy.
Yeah, so it looks like you're optimistic about the new guy that's in. It looks like you're optimistic if he wins, Xiomara Castro. If he wins, what do you think will happen to Xiomara Castro?
Good question.
I mean, there is a lot of wrongdoings that happen. Now the Attorney General in Honduras is elected for 7 years, so which means that the guy who is now in office, who is from the same radical left party of the later president, if he continues there, they are going to be protected. You see that guy that we saw in that video with the cachiros, the brother-in-law of the president. He even started the indictment, having that piece of evidence there. But a couple of days ago, the candidate from the radical left Libre Party, Rixi Moncada, she said it in public. And now we ask the Attorney General that he has to indict former President Hernandez. In less than 24 hours, the Attorney General was doing what he was asked, a political order. So I have to fight that legal challenge too. But that's the thing. So in order to us to answer you, all depends how the Attorney General offices are going to develop. And all depends also if the United States is going to request them in extradition or something. Because the Attorney General Bondi already said something about the Honduran government.
They should.
Yeah. So, final words. You know, the audience watched you, and I think they need to know. Normally, we'll have people that will reach out who are dignitaries or leaders of countries who have done what they've done. Initially they'll come up and they'll say, these topics are off. You know, we can't talk about these topics. I think you need to know this. There is nothing, and I'm saying you as the audience, there's nothing he told me or his camp told us that's off base for us to ask. Nothing. Or else we wouldn't do the interview. So I applaud you for doing that, because you're coming in here knowing I could ask any question. And I brought up your, brother. I brought up all this stuff. I played clips of Merrick Garland. I played everything. The audience now can make a decision for themselves. But to me, watching this, it's very obvious you hurt a lot of people that were making a lot of money illegally, the narco, who don't like you.
Oh, yeah.
And you made some very, very bad enemies with people that make money illegally.
Yep.
And when you make bad enemies with them, and when you have a guy who's killed 56-something people, does less than 6 years, and he gives away names, and they tie you to one of them, and he goes free, he's on the streets, and he was sent back by ICE April of 2025 under Trump's regime, it says there's some wrongdoing there and some manipulation going on under Biden administrations, probably not himself, probably Kamala Harris and some of the other people that were doing what they were doing. But is there any final words you want to give to the audience?
Well, I want to thank all of those Hondurans and other people even from the United States, even former presidents in the region, who were not only praying for my release, but some of them write letters to President Trump saying what they knew about me. But also I want to thank the people who put together all this information for the White House to review it. And of course, I want to thank President Trump, because he knew me when we worked together, but he now also has a more detail what really happened. It is in the documents, it is in the statements right there. And of course, people like Roger Stone that I didn't even know him. He just empathized because he went through to something like I was. And of course, I want to thank you. My lawyer told me, as you told me, Juan Orlando, if you want the world to know, you have to take this opportunity. I don't know who of your team called my lawyer, and he said, you have to be there, please. Because I don't know much about the United States media.
Of course.
But then when I do a research, and my little daughter said, Father, please, you have to go there. We need the people of the United States to know the truth. And now that's my task. I have to clean my name, the name of my family, the name of my team, of my country. But also I want to ask anybody who go and do a research about my case. And I told the judge the day of my sentence, please, release all these things for people to know. Because if you do that, your conscience, the day you die, at least you were going to say, I allow everybody to see what really was there. And in Honduras, we're a small country. Everybody knows each other. I'm coming from a rural area, and they know me. So my teachers, my family, my friends, everybody was like in shock. How could that be? If you look at the asset that they seize,
That is an innocent man. I support this president 100%. I think they did a very big disgrace to him, and they should be held accountable for it. Same tactics, same thing they're doing to the United States of America. As much as people want to call me a traitor, sellout, no, guys, I'm here with you, for you. Thank you so much for your support. You all have a good night. God bless you. God bless your family. Thank you for the new members. Thank you for the new subscribes. Thank you for the likes. God bless your family in the USA. I'll see you guys tomorrow, God willing.